Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or good lunchtime, or even good morning. We are live for Manchester United's trip to Goodison Park. Always one of my favourite grounds, to be honest. But to be honest, as well, twice honest in the first few seconds, this game is big, but it's big for the wrong reasons. Everton are in a relegation battle. Manchester United, I mean, what are we in? I didn't even realise Newcastle played Wolves last night and won. And the sad thing is that result actually is a really good result for us. I'm really, really bright on my left-hand side. I don't know what's gone wrong with the colour on this. Is it the same on yours? All right, I'll have a look on YouTube. It just looks really, really bright. I've got it. See, even on YouTube, it's doing it for me. I'll look on this. Yeah, sorry, it's fine, says Prab. That's absolutely fine. It's probably just my screen then. That's okay. Okay, so yeah, Manchester United playing against... No, I still think that's really bright. It looks really different to me. We'll go with it. Everyone who's in the chat says it's fine. Okay. No worries. As long as you're happy in the chat, that's all that matters. Right. The lineup is predicted at the moment. It's not officially out. There's actually not a lot of leaks coming out. I suppose we pretty much know players that won't be playing. We've got a bit of an update on Erik ten Hag that I want to get into in a few minutes' time. But as you can see, the show is sponsored by Surfshark. I'll go into more depth with that in a moment. But Surfshark is a virtual private network. You can sign up for free. The code is United Stand, and they've got a fantastic offer for you, which is 83% off and 3 months free. So you get the first 3 months free with the code United Stand. Then you get 83% off with Surfshark. So virtual private network. If you are on holiday in America and you want to use your UK Netflix, you can say that you're in the UK and America and vice versa. If you want to log into different areas with online streaming services, that's what you use a virtual private network for. So check out Surfshark. Links in the description. 3 months free when you use the code United Stand and 83% off. You can also scan the QR code for that as well. We'll talk a little bit more about Surfshark in a bit, and you can see that we are playing, Manchester United are playing at Goodison Park. As I said, normally a very big game. I still think it will be a big game, but it's got a very different feel. Newcastle beating Wolves last night was a really big help for us because there are those fans amongst us who think that we may finish as low as 8th. We have to be in the Europa League spots, which means we've got to finish. If we're going to finish behind Spurs and Arsenal, we've got to finish above Wolves and West Ham. So Wolves losing last night was quite good for us. Are you going to do a Dutch Cup watch-along, says Julian? I wouldn't have thought so, considering it's Easter Sunday at 5 o'clock. Really enjoyed the Antony and Rashford head-to-head. Really convinced me on him. I wasn't sure before, says Dion. Well, you can check that out by becoming a member. If you want to become a member of the United Stand Members Club, click the join button. We've got our first exclusive video on there, which is Rashford against Antony head-to-head. It's really interesting. I think it'll open people's eyes up about Antony. But thank you very much for that message from Dion, one of our members. So you get your badge next to your name, not Nigel Green. The Europa League would be embarrassing, says Ken. I think the Europa League would be embarrassing, but I think we've got to look forward. I think each individual fan needs to get to that point where I'm at. I'm not looking backwards. I'm looking forwards. Erik ten Hag is forwards. The embarrassment is behind us. Ollie, what's gone on this season, these players. And some of them will need to get off the bus and piss off. But ultimately, we've got to look forward. And I think if I'm Erik ten Hag, I would rather be playing Thursday night football in the Europa League than not playing at all, because then he can rotate, he can try things out, and it's another route back into the Champions League. So we'll see what happens. I think a lot of people are going with a draw for today. I think it's really hard to predict what Manchester United are going to do today. Very, very hard. Obviously, no McTominay, no Varane, no Cavani, no Luke Shaw. Ronaldo's back. I think that always gives us a better chance. But predicting United's ridiculous. I hope to see a bounce. They know we're getting Ten Hag as much as the United fans know. So I hope we see a bounce from Manchester United. And ultimately, I think we've got to beat Everton and Norwich. Get those 6 points on the board. I think it solidifies our top 6 position. And then you've got to look at, we're playing Arsenal and Liverpool. We could lose both those games. We've still got Chelsea to come. So wherever you're thinking about, even if you're dreaming of top 4, we have to win today. No, if we want to finish in the top 8, we've got to win today. So every aspect of today we have to win, and I think it will be difficult because you have a glimpse at Everton. They're dreadful. They're absolutely crap, and their running is awful, and they're 1 point off relegation, and Lampard's nearly getting the sack. So they will put in something today. I'm sure they have to put in something today, and that makes it difficult because United. we've got to start well. If we start well and score, I think the Everton crowd will lose their shit. If they start well and score, I think our heads will drop. So I think the first goal is massively important in this game, and we've seen that before. Now, I've seen a leaked team here of De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Telles, Fred, Matic, Sancho, Fernandes, Rashford, Ronaldo. That would surprise me that Wan-Bissaka comes back into the team. I don't agree with that. But it is official. Apparently, the Manchester United lineup is De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Telles, Lindelof, Maguire, Matic and Fred, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo. So no starting space for Paul Pogba and no starting space for Diego Dalot, who I don't feel actually had a bad game against Palace. So it's interesting. I don't know what people's thoughts are on that. Rashford back as well. I mean, I don't know whether that's pressure to pick him or the fact that it's either Rashford or Elanga. I mean, there's not really much of a choice, is there? I mean, at some point, you'd hope that Marcus Rashford's going to put in a good display, and maybe against Everton on the break, that opportunity is there. Welcome to the Members Club, Daniel. Morning, Mark. Watch the players demolish Everton today. They need to impress Ten Hag, says Nick. Mark, I believe United were using the press and ex-players to try and push Poch, and we'll do this if this starts losing the games. Could do. Got an update on Ten Hag in a minute, actually. And could have watched the game today, but my boss is making me pull a Saturday after a full week. Can you recall Rick, a prat and a fraud, says Cameron. Rick, you're a prat and a fraud, according to Cameron. Anyway, Bournemouth versus Sheffield United prediction. Don't care. Hopefully Reading beats Cardiff, or I think that's who Incy said they're playing. So yeah, United at the moment, we're currently 7th in the league, level with West Ham with 51 points. Wolves have got 49 points, but we've got 2 games in hand on them. So really, the minimum we should be finishing is 7th, which is the Conference League, by the way. Just as a little bit of worry there. So the team is not on the screen at the moment, but the team is. It's on the screen now. Sorry, that's because I've paused my screen. So you can see it, I can't. Let me get it up. That's what she said. So we've got De Gea in goal, no surprise there. Telles at left back, no surprise there. Lindelof and Maguire, no surprise there because we've got Nova Ran. Wan-Bissaka at right back. I'm sorry, that is a surprise. I don't really get the rotation of Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. How's Ricky getting on? Says Martial. I think he's on holiday again. He's always on holiday. But I don't understand the rotation between Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. It's like surely consistency is the key. And yet again, we've seen another swap in a place that I don't really understand that. Wan-Bissaka couldn't cross his legs, so we're not going to put any crosses in from the right, are we? Unless it's Christmas. And then you've got Matic and Fred in the midfield, which I think is a little bit defensive for me. But Matic will be coming off at some point. He can't play 90 minutes. Bruno at the centre. Sancho and Ronaldo, I agree with. And Ronaldo, Rashford. Kush says happy that Matic is starting. Rashford on the right. Don't really have a problem with it. It's Rashford or Elanga, isn't it? And I mean, you could make a case for Lingard, but I don't know. This is why I'd try and sign Anthony, to be honest with you. Wan-Bissaka, yeah, again, apparently it's against the Wobie. I wanted to have a look at the Everton side. Let's have a quick look at that Everton side and see how they're lining up, actually. But look, it wouldn't really matter what team Man United picks because I just don't know what to predict. We need to win. The bench has got 2 goalkeepers on the bench. I mean, this, for me, I cannot wait to get to the point where we don't put 2 goalkeepers on the bench. It's so embarrassing. It started with Ollie, and why can't you just put Garnacho on there or Charlie McNeil? You don't need to use them. You're not going to use 2 goalkeepers. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to use 2 goalkeepers. So put Garnacho on there. You're not going to use him, but at least he's on there. At least he feels close to it. 2 goalkeepers. It's bloody embarrassing. It started with Ollie, and it's continued all bloody season. Dalot, Jones, Hannibal, Lingard, Mata, Pogba, and Elanga. So the bench was never going to be strong today. If you're missing Luke Shaw and McTominay and Cavani, then and there's somebody else's Varane, you're going to miss some players, aren't you? I mean, I don't know where Eric Bailly is. Answers on a postcard for that. He's not on the bench, but 2 goalkeepers on the bench. It's embarrassing what we've become this season. I don't know whether any other club does it, but I think it's embarrassing in a Premier League game to be putting 2 goalkeepers on the bench again. It's a fucking joke, and it's an embarrassment, to be honest. Wan-Bissaka is better defensively. He's called the Spider for a reason, says Corbin. Well, I like Wan-Bissaka, but not this season. Maybe Wan-Bissaka starts to give Rashford more freedom as he's not as good at tracking backs as chemists. Delo's more attacking and gives Rashford more to think about. Yeah, so we're playing more defensive, aren't we? 72 says, Wan-Bissaka starting is the worst decision from Ralph. He's going to be the weak side. What do you think, Mark? I mean, he can be good defensively, but he's just not good going forward. The Everton team is Pickford, Coleman, Keane, Godfrey, Mikalenko, Delph, Allen, Iwobi, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and Gordon. I mean, that midfield is shit. Absolutely shit for Everton. Fabian Delph and Iwobi in the midfield with Alan. We should absolutely annihilate. It should be a bowling ball through a poppadom. That's what I'm thinking. That midfield is awful. If we lose that midfield battle, and McTominay's not even starting, if we lose that midfield battle, I'm going to cry. My eyes are barely open, but I'm here. Used to not like Fred and Matic, but been liking Fred when he's been playing more advanced. We've got to win, Daniel Luciano. We've got to win that midfield battle. There's literally no excuse not to. I mean, I don't know what Frank Lampard's thinking with the midfield 3 of Fabian Delph, Alan and Iwobi. But he has got Dele Alli on the bench and Doucouré on the bench. And he's put Damari Gray on the bench as well. And Gomez. So that midfield that Everton have constructed, to me, looks like they've got an injury crisis. I know Danny van der Beek couldn't play in this game anyway, and he has been injured. But they've got Gomez who can play in the midfield. They've got Doucouré who can play in the midfield. They can even put Dele Alli in the midfield. And they've gone with Delph and Iwobi next to Alan. If we lose this midfield battle, it's a bloody embarrassment. So we should be winning this game based on the midfield. But we will see. We will see. And as Martin says, Fabian Delph in 2022. I don't know. Anyway, Surfshark, it will come back on the screen in a minute. Let me just tell you that today's show is sponsored by Surfshark. I have already told you that, of course. Surfshark is, you can use Surfshark on many different devices. It's also available on every device you can think of, Android, iOS, Amazon, and everything like that. You can also use it on different devices when you've got it. And Surfshark is a virtual private network, so you can use it to protect your data, your photos, private documents. But my favorite feature about Surfshark is the ability to use online streaming services in different areas. So if you are on, say, Netflix and you're in the UK and you want to use American Netflix because you're American or you're visiting or something like that, this is what a virtual private network allows you to do. So you can mask where you are actually, your location, into other areas. Now, Surfshark, give it a try. 83% off, but you get the first 3 months free. So 3 months of freedom to try it out and see whether you like it. You can scan the QR code to download it just by holding your phone up, or you can do it through the link in the description. Check it out. If you've never tried one before, they are decent if you want to try it out. And if you have got one, you may as well try this one because you get it free for 3 months. See how it works for you. So check it out, Surfshark. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. United Stand is the code you need to use to get 3 months free and then 83% off. And you can scan it through the QR code as well. Thank you very much to Surfshark. Right, so let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. Never forget when Maguire played for Everton players onside on a free kick and cost us 2 points at Goodison Park, says Julian. Maguire normally plays well against Everton, to be fair, because Everton traditionally are a team that puts the ball into the box. Having said that, Lampard's in charge now. Jerry, thanks very much for the super chat. Nate says, I'm not saying Fred is a bad player, but our fans need to stop gassing guys up after a couple of decent games. We need more consistency from these players. I agree with you, Nate. I think we're probably in the minority. Fred seems to have become world-class in the last few games. Actually, I think he's been shite for most of the season, but I think he's had a few good games this year. And I mean, this calendar year, that people are forgetting how shit he can be. But he has been doing quite well recently. He'd be nowhere near a starting top 6 side. He wouldn't start for Spurs. He wouldn't start for Arsenal. And he certainly wouldn't start for Chelsea, Liverpool or Man City. So there are levels to this game. But I think where Fred deserves some praise is that he has actually performed better than McTominay. He has performed better than Pogba. And he has been one of our better players in a poor side over the last few weeks. He's also a positive. I mean, did you hear his comments about we've got great players and we're a great team and we've got to be in the championship next season? It's like I said on Twitter, he'd tell the Elephant Man that he can win Miss World. He's just massively, massively positive, which can be a good thing. In games like these, Rashford could bounce back and start to rebuild his confidence. Fingers crossed. Cheers again, Mark. Thank you very much, Jerry. Hannibal could do a job with that Everton midfield, says Dion. And morning, Mark. Here in America, it's 3 a.m. Glad to tune in. I'm happy for a Sue, says J7 Sports video. Where did Eric Bailly disappear to, says Tommy. I know, where's Eric? I'm not talking about Ten Hag. Also, just a very, very quick shout as well. We are, as you can see in the number in the top left-hand corner, we're only 500 subscribers away from 1.3 million followers on the United Stand. Let's see if we can hit it before kickoff. Please share the video. Click the share button, share it on your Twitter and your Facebook, and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let's see if we can hit 1.3 million. Even if United don't win, we could have a big moment. So subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, 1.3 million. Can we get a sunshine Gary Neville, Mark, says Geezer. Sunshine Gary Neville. We haven't heard from Gary since Eric Ten Hag got the job as well. I reckon he's just running around, just mad. I'm so mad, Phil. I'm so mad. I wanted Poch, and I've got bloody sunshine. It's not even sunny. Oh, I'm gutted. Rubbish, Gary Neville. I can't do his accent, but there you go. Have you got the Red Bull ready for the early race, says Joe? Yeah, big weekend. Obviously, all I'm focused on at the moment is United. But I am doing Spurs versus Villa Watchalong at 5:30 on That's Football. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m, it becomes That's Racing for the Formula One Grand Prix. And then tomorrow afternoon, obviously, we're doing Liverpool Man City. Thoughts on the United games in Australia, says Peter. Pre-season, you get excited about it because you haven't had any football for a couple of months. It means next to nothing. If you win 4 games on pre-season 10-0, it doesn't mean you're going to win the league. But I think it will be useful whether we're going to Australia or we're going to Antarctica or we're going to Altrincham. The reality is if Ten Hag can get hold of those players and they react to him, then I think that's the main thing about pre-season for me. And hopefully we can get some players in and out by the time we go to Australia. There's so many things to think about, but you don't want late transfers. We need to get our transfer business done quick. Big 5-5 to all the Manchester United fans from San Diego, says Oscar. Yeah, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. United approach for Richarlison from Sky Sports. I think there are better options out there for the same price. No, I wouldn't go anywhere near him, Colin. I don't like Richarlison. It's just something I just don't like about him. I think it might be the chicken celebration, but I never watch him and think, yes, you're good enough to play for Man City or Liverpool. So why would you sign him for United? And Everton would want silly money. Why would you pay? Seriously, though, call it out. Why would you pay 60, 70 million for Richarlison when he's been a bag of shit for a team that's in a relegation battle? I wouldn't go near him. I wouldn't go near him for 40, to be honest. If Martial can go from being a £70 million player to 30, Richarlison can as well. I don't rate him. And the biggest thing is, I don't know whether anyone saw this story about, I think it was ESPN was saying that Ralph Rangnick had said, "Are you scouting Nkunku?" And United scouters said no. We scouted 500 right backs to get Wan-Bissaka for £50 million, but we weren't scouting Nkunku until Rangnick came into the club. I tell you what, these bloody United scouts, they haven't got a passport. Oh, can you do a short list of CDMs? Right, we've got Calvin Phillips, we've got Neves, we've got Rice and Romu. Get the connection. We don't ever leave the Premier League. Nkunku, I would take every day of the week over Richarlison. Every day of the week. And United might not even be looking at him. Ten Hag all the way. Glory, glory, Man United. No excuses, says Sean O'Sullivan. If Leicester win the Conference League, does only 5th place get Europa spot, says Tom. I don't know. I don't think so. Jay says, hate to say it, but do you wish we didn't sign Varane? His injury record has been awful and I had cash on him in the summer. I like Varane. I was very excited about Varane. I'm not going to be revisionary and say I wish we hadn't bought him because you live with what you know. But what I would say is I blame Manchester United again. We seem to keep buying players that have got very obvious. It's almost like they don't use transfer market. There's a section on transfer market called injury history. It takes 5 seconds. Just before we put the bid in, can somebody just run a transfer market injury history check on Varane? Oh, he's got quite a few injuries. Don't worry about it. It's Varane. He's won Champions Leagues. Like, there is clearly an issue with Varane, and he should be playing today. I'm watching from Utah in America, says Isaac. Thank you very much for the super chat. If you want to do super chat, you can do that through the $sign. We'll read it out. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Do Man United scouts have a guide dog and a white and walk with a red stick, says Arjun. And big shout out to my mate Justin. He's watching from Malta. Can you do a Sean Dyche impression for him? He loves it, says Curtis Brooks. Well, I can do.
I can do one. And I'll tell you why I'm going to do one for you, Justin. Because you're just in time. Because I'm losing my voice. Sean Dyche, Tarkovsky, and Weghorst. I hope Man United win today. Because I'm telling you now, we're ready. I don't need any wood. I don't need wood. I'm on Viagra. And I don't even know who we're playing today. But as long as Manchester United beat Everton, I'll rest assured we'll be above them tonight. And we'll be on it hard.
Okay, so let's move on. I'm starting to lose the Sean Dyche impression, actually. I felt that wasn't in the right tone there. In relation to, there is a bit of an update in relation to Erik ten Hag that I just wanted to read you out. And I can't see where it is now. Let me just see for you. Okay, so this is coming from Ajax sources. And basically what they're saying is that in relation to Erik ten Hag, the only way that Erik ten Hag joins Manchester United is when everything fits right. Ten Hag's management is working on it, and he has a huge list of demands relating to sporting matters. And this is coming via the European lad, and it's coming from at Freek Jensen. So it's coming from Dutch sources, and it basically verifies, adds a little bit to what we already know. Manchester United want to give this job to Erik ten Hag, and Erik ten Hag wants to take the job, but they must deliver the facts and the requirements that he wants. And I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Morning, Mark from USA here. Woke up early for this game. Hope United win. Wan-Bissaka at right backer is interesting. Everton are poor, says Vignesh. That Everton midfield is crap. Gordon is meant to be quite a decent player. Calvert-Lewin's been shit this season. Richarlison's been in and out. Their back four is shaky, but their midfield is a joke, an absolute joke. Allen, Delph, and Iwobi in 2022 as a midfield three. We've got to win that midfield battle, and if we win the midfield battle, we'll create chances. So Rashford, Sancho, Ronaldo, I can see us winning today. Looking at that Everton midfield, I don't normally get confident with United because I don't normally look at it and go, we're going to win the midfield battle. But I think we have to win the midfield battle today. And I think we will win the midfield battle today because that Everton midfield's got more of a hole in it than ours has. The right-hand side of United has me worried a little bit. I think Wan-Bissaka and Rashford this season have been very poor. Everybody, you judge them on the 90 minutes they're about to play. But Everton's concern are not our concerns. We've got our own concerns. And if we were to win today with Norwich next week, I think 6 points. I don't necessarily think it means we're favourites to get back in a top four race, but I think it just gives us a little bit of something. And that's what we need to take from the next two games. Do you think the news of Ten Hag will change the players' mindset and motivation, even if he gets the job? You seeing United before season end, says Thomas. Yes, I do think the motivation of the players must change 100%. I presume many of you feel the same. Thank you, Mode, for the super chat. I presume many of you feel the same as me. This time last week and the days after the result against Leicester, I just felt very flat. The players had obviously down tools, not for the first time this season. There was no direction. We were limping towards the end of the season. It was a mess. And I wasn't very happy about it. And then the Erik ten Hag thing gets leaked. And I'm like, hold on a minute. This is more positive. There's a bit of direction here. And I think that surely has to be, even more so you could argue that surely that's going to be how the players feel. Funny how the director of football rumours started after Ten Hag interviews. Defo one of his requests. Big win needed today. Hope the players are feeling it, says Dan Watson. Watching from Amman, says Jay Martin, who's one of our members. And Peter Fays says, this morning, Mark, I have a feeling Rashford will score today, 3-0 United. I hope so, Peter. It can't be a bad story forever with any player. At some point, you've got to get a man of the match and a goal from Maguire. You've got to get a goal and a man of the match from Rashford, even a McTominay. So they can't just keep putting in those bad performances. I mean, there's got to be something about them. Welcome to the Members Club, Joe Woodward. And hi, Mark. I'm very interested in how these players will present themselves knowing who the next manager is. Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, Matteo. But I think we need to see a reaction anyway. We need to see a reaction from Leicester. We need to see a reaction because we're getting pulled into a race for 8th. And we need to see a reaction for the new manager. Do you think the board will give total control to Ten Hag? I think if they don't, he won't take the job, Swapnil. And if he doesn't take the job, it will cause massive issues at Manchester United. But one thing I do want to say, and I've not heard anybody say this yet, is I do think that Ralph Rangnick will stay at Manchester United in the advisory role. Because one thing is that United's run of fixtures and results under Ralph Rangnick haven't been particularly great. But that blame has always been levelled quite rightly at the players. Ralph Rangnick has come out of this situation relatively unscathed, with a lot of people still on side, even though we've put in some terrible performances out of the FA Cup against Middlesbrough, out of the Champions League, out of the race for top 4 effectively. Favourite crisp flavour, says Joshua Murphy, probably prawn cocktail or cheese and onion. And I think Ralph Rangnick has come out of this situation in a relatively decent one. And I think the reason he's come out of this situation in a relatively decent one is because he's just full of good takes. He's full of positivity and honesty. And I think that even last night in the embargoed section, he came out with this statement: the squad needs to be rebuilt in the summer. It's very clear, but it doesn't make sense to speak about that right now. He's always been very honest. And I think there's been such a lack of honesty within Manchester United, and their communication is always so poor, that Ralph Rangnick has been somebody that, even though the results haven't been great, and he is the manager and he has made some weird team selections, arguably today with Wan-Bissaka over Delo as well, he still retains the support and backing of the fan base because he's honest and he's educated. So I don't think Ralph Rangnick will leave Manchester United in the summer unless they sack him, because I think he will be Ten Hag, no matter what John Murtaugh or Darren Fletcher or the Glazers or anybody else try and do. Ten Hag just has the feel of a Ralph Rangnick appointment. And we all know that Ralph Rangnick wanted Eric Ten Hag. And I think that Ralph Rangnick will probably know that if he stays on in a consultancy role, his reputation will be only further enhanced if United get better and better. And I just think that he is somebody that is associated with the positivity, if you can call it that, around the future of Manchester United. So I don't think Ralph Rangnick will leave Manchester United. I think he will stay. And I think that he will have a big part to play in the future, because I think Eric Ten Hag, as somebody who knows the modern football, will certainly value conversations with him over conversations with anybody else in that football club who, to be honest with you, are all very wet behind the ears and inexperienced. Joey, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Don't forget to check out the Rashford versus Anthony video at some point over the weekend if you are a member, because it's exclusive for you. Okay, let's have a quick look at Fanta Pants. Sorry, I'm typing what I'm saying. We're not having a look at Fanta Pants. We're having a look at, that's tomorrow. So, Mark, Matic can play the rest of the games this year as DM. I hope Fred plays CM. The problem with Matic is, and I do believe that Matic will have a good game, the problem with Matic is that he will... You all right? What's wrong? Pardon? What's wrong with it? Can't you get it on now? Right, I'll come round and talk while I'm doing it. I've got a multitask here. So I think the thing with Matic is that he is really important to Manchester United, but I don't think he can play 90 minutes. And therefore, it's difficult for him to do that. So I suspect that we will see Pogba at some point, because he's incapable of playing over an hour, Matic, and it will be a high energy game. I suppose Fabian Delph against Matic in the year 2022 is quite interesting in itself. So we'll see how that pans out. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We are on the road to 1.3 million today, which would be nice. Absolutely fantastic to hit. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and share the video. And as you can see, the league table there, 51 points for United. A win would put us joint fourth, which is crazy, really. It really is. That league table is weird. Manchester United could basically go and get 6 points and put ourselves right back in the race for top 4. David Pickering, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Of course, the issue is that if we did go level with Arsenal, they would have 2 games in hand. and Spurs would obviously have a game in hand as well. But with Everton today and Norwich, we've just got to take 6 points. I'm not even thinking about fourth. I think if we win today, some of our fans, quite rightly, will start going, beat Norwich and we're going to get top 4. If we win today, I'll go beat Norwich, and I don't think West Ham will make us finish outside the Europa League spots. That's the positive for me, because I know we've got to play Chelsea. We've got to play Palace away. We've got to play Liverpool away, and we've got to play at the Emirates. So these next 6 points for me are not about being in a top 4 race. I don't think that's on at all. I think that what we're trying to do is just solidify being in the top 6. Joey McCrory and Eugene, thank you for joining the members club. Also David Pickering as well. Thanks for supporting the channel. We've got lots of exclusive content coming up for you if you are a member. You also get your little badge next to your name. But remember, we won't be taking anything away off the channel that is available for free for everybody. We'll still have the 8 o'clock shows, watch-alongs, match reactions, vlogs, morning shows. This is extra content for you. Hello from Australia, Mark. I'm hoping that the players will put their heads out tonight with the pending appointment of Ten Hag. 25th Barn, I think you've hit the proverbial nail on the head. 100% I expect to see a performance from United today. I'm not going to be shocked if we play well. I want to be there on the match reaction, giving the player ratings out, giving out 7s, at least 7s, saying, look, they're as excited as we are. There's a bit of a buzz around the team. Obviously, they're feeling the positivity that we are as well. Welcome to the members club, Adrian as well. Adrian, and what do we got going on here? Okay. My mate Reese thought Everton were going to win the league under Ancelotti, says Joe. Well, to be fair to Everton, I don't want to talk about Everton too much, but to be fair to Everton, Ancelotti's not the manager, and he hasn't been the manager this season at all. So you can't really take a pop at Everton under Ancelotti. I thought Ancelotti, and I think Ancelotti is one of the greatest managers of the last 20 years. Unfortunately for Everton, they went down the Benitez role, and that massively caused them a problem, didn't it? But I think that Lampard may well be sacked on Sunday night. I think that I was watching a game last weekend, and we were talking about the relegation battle, and I looked at the fixtures, and Everton had Burnley on Wednesday where they lost, and United at home today. And I looked at the rest of their fixtures, and it was like, if they take 4 points from Burnley and United, I think they'll be in a position where they can stay up, because they should be able to get enough points everywhere else to just stay ahead. But if they take anything less than 4 points, I think they're going to probably go down. Well, they could take no points. Like they've already missed 3 points against Burnley and given them to Burnley. They're in a really dangerous situation, Everton. And I think, do I want Everton to get relegated from the Premier League? As a football fan, no. I've always, all my life, Everton have been in the top division. I find Everton quite an inoffensive football club, maybe because Liverpool are so offensive that I quite like Everton. But I don't want them to get relegated. But to be honest with you, they're not my concern. As a Man United fan, we need these 3 points. And if Everton go down, it'll be because they deserve to. Everybody gets what they deserve after 38 games. I heard a Liverpool fan saying, oh, our running is so much harder than Man City. They're clearly going to win it. And I was like, yeah, but their running is their running. That's because they've played the harder teams that you've got to play already. So over 38 games, we will finish where we deserve, and Everton will finish where they deserve. But what I would say about Everton is that the appointment of Frank Lampard was just dubious. And I think that this is we have this problem with the Glazers. You get these people in charge who employ people who don't know what they're on about. Niall Gallagher, welcome to the members club. Also, welcome to Greg and Mark. It makes me sick that Owen Hargreaves still thinks that Manchester United should go after Poch simply because he knows the league. Carmine, I can't listen to these absolute clowns anymore. Cameron, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. One of the things I absolutely love about social media, and there's a lot not to like about social media, but one of the things I absolutely love about social media, and certainly the community that we've built, is that these absolute prats who were brilliant footballers are prats. Like their opinion is so bloody lazy. They've probably done a 2-minute. I mean, look, it's not exclusive to everybody. I got sent a clip yesterday of somebody doing a video basically telling everybody about the story of Erik Ten Hag and telling people that Erik Ten Hag managed Ajax when we beat them in the bloody Europa League final. And that's somebody who's apparently researched the topic. What do you think these ex-players are doing? Like, it's madness. It's absolute madness and this is why I love social media and football, because, all right, there's a lot of toxicity out there, but you do get the ability for proper conversation. And the reality is, an ex-Man United player who's got his fingers in more pies than somebody who's got a lot of fingers in pies, they're not sat there in their spare time spending an hour reading about Eric Ten Hag or Pochettino. They'll turn up after a night out, a restaurant night out. They've watched a film, spent some time with the missus or the bit on the side or whatever they do. They'll turn up for filming. They'll go, I nearly said the name of the person then. They'll say, such and such. Yeah, we're live in 10 minutes. What we're talking about? Can you get me a coffee? Can you get me this? What we're talking about? Yeah, just a bit about the match before. Okay, no worries. Yeah. Anything I need to prep for? No, it'll be straight. I've been there. I've seen how it goes. Get him in front of the camera. What's your thoughts on the managerial situation? Well, I'll go for Poch because he's managed in the Premier League. I mean, that's massive, that is. And what do you think about Ten Hag? Wow, didn't he lose a game to Poch at some point? Great insight there. Get it up on the TV. It's nonsense. They're dangerous people because they're not open to scrutiny. And these presenters who speak to them will not delve into. Like, the first thing I would do if I was sat on Sky or BT and I had an ex-player, whether it's a United ex-player or it's Jamie Carragher, if they said, I'd go for Poch because he's Premier League proven, I'd say, well, hold on a minute. Was he not sacked from the Premier League? Yeah, but he did a great job at Spurs. Did he? Did he not have a terrible record against the top six? Yeah, but he's Premier League proven. So he's been sacked from the Premier League. He's got a terrible record against the top six. He's never won anything. And actually, he's now failed at PSG. Yeah, but you know what? Tuchel failed at PSG. Did he? He took him to a Champions League final, didn't he? Look, at the end of the day, I just think Poch is the right man. You've not done any research, have you? Can you tell me anything about Eric Ten Hag? Well, apart from taking him to the final against United a few years ago, no, that wasn't Ten Hag. That was another bold person. What do you know about Ten Hag? Well, he's not Premier League proven. Right. And I think that the reason they don't probe them is because that's what would actually happen. They would get absolutely exposed. They are paid to go on TV because they used to play football. And look, they need to modify how they do this. Either ex-players need to educate themselves or the media needs to change, because this was what I grew up with 30 years ago. 30 years ago on a Saturday night, I'd be sat there with a Mars bar and my Coke, having a Saturday night treat, staying up to watch Match of the Day, listening to Alan Hansen and Jimmy Hill, telling me what I'm being told 30 years later. But something's changed. We've got the internet. We've got people who can have an opinion that's better than them. And we're still being fed lazy pundits, feeding lazy decisions. And it gets dangerous because when bad things happen around your club, and it could be Everton, could be Man City, could be Liverpool, but around United, you get bad things going on and you get these lazy pundits speaking to millions of people when they've done no research. And that's the problem. And that's what we've had over the last few weeks with Pochettino. Oh, Poch. Every ex-United player didn't go for Ten Hag. They all went for Poch. A couple went for Simeone. I mean, bloody hell. Simeone. He loves 40% possession. Can you imagine that shit at Old Trafford? Simeone giving the oppositions, giving Norwich 60%. Yeah, but he won 1-0. I mean, it's just dangerous. It's dangerous, the amount of thing. And as I said, just do some research. Do some research. Like, I did that Anthony versus Rashford comparison on the members club section. You can check it out. Or you can research it yourself. But the reality is, you start to see things that I wasn't aware of. I couldn't believe that Anthony's aerial duel percentage win is amazing. He wins like over 60% of his aerial duels, which for a winger is ridiculous. So look, I just feel that hopefully we will see a Sue show today, says Rudy. But look, I've wandered off into an area there because someone said that Owen Hargreaves is still saying get Poch. Didn't Owen Hargreaves come out with some conspiracy theory that United were getting him injured on purpose as well? I mean, look, I don't know whether that's true, but each their own. Everyone's got an opinion. I embrace opinion, as I'm sure many of you do, but I don't embrace lazy opinion. Like, if you're going to have an opinion, at least research it. Like, I've had some bad takes in the past, but I stand by them because they were in the past. I said that Harry Maguire was a top 10 centre-back in the world. Because in 2019, when we paid £80 million for him, I thought he was. Surely, when you spend £80 million on somebody, you expect them to be one of the top 10 centre-backs in the world. He'd done well when I'd watched him for England. He'd done well when he played for Leicester when I'd watched him. But I wouldn't say that now. I wouldn't listen to ex-Man United players because they were slow to criticise Ollie. I mean, that's a big one, Miad, yeah. I think they've got a lot of making up to do because of what they did around Ollie. But also, that's the problem with the industry as well. Like, the world needs to move on. We're in an entertainment business. You can still be somebody's mate, but call them out publicly. Because if I did a bad show on the United Stand, and Draughty messaged me tonight and said you were really bad. You were really bad. I say, right. First of all, you're fired, and don't ever talk to me again. But no, seriously, I would. I'm doing terrible. I'm being told I'm being terrible now. But the reality is, I would take it on board. I'd be disappointed, but I would take it on board in the way that it was meant. That you didn't do very well. I don't understand why just because Solskjaer was a mate, they were all like they just gave him a free pass when you're being beaten 5-0 at home or whatever. I think it's a weird industry, and I think it's all mates, isn't it? The analogy we're looking for was they've got more fingers in pies than a baker. Checking if they're properly cooked, says Jack. That's a good one, Jack. Kudos, thank you very much for becoming a member. And Anita says, United, Spurs and Arsenal are so inconsistent that top four is still up for grabs by potentially Man United. Well, look, Anita makes a good point. Is top four still up for grabs? We'll run a poll on that. Yes or no. Is top four still likely? I think that's the way you'd word it. So that's our first poll of the day. Get voting yes or no. I would say this. I look at that league table. I'm sure it will come back on the screen in a moment. But I look at that league table and you go, well, we beat Everton, we beat Norwich. We could be fourth. But I also look at that league table and the run-in for Manchester United. I think that's more interesting for me. And I look at it and I go, you know what? I don't think it's on because we've still got to play the teams that we've got to play. We know we've got to play Arsenal and Liverpool straight after Norwich, home and away. And we also know that beyond that, we've still got some very difficult games as well. We've got Chelsea at home, Brentford at home. Okay. We've got Chelsea at home. We've got Brighton away and we've got Palace away. Now, Brighton away, hopefully, but you never know with Brighton. Palace away, that could be a really difficult game, last game of the season. I think being last game of the season, it might help us. But no, my stance on top four will be we won't get it, or we'll get it because we're not as shit as everybody else. And what needs to happen for us to get top four, and I think everyone would agree with this, is we could get top four, but we'll only get it if Arsenal and Spurs have a shit end to the season, worse than us. United, Spurs and Arsenal are so inconsistent. That was from Anita, wasn't it? Welcome to the Members Club, Abdullah. And don't worry, Mark, you're not alone. I've seen the Hargreaves piece also, and it made my blood boil, spewing the same old garbage. I just don't. You know what? I think we need to transcend it. I do. I think we need to transcend this ridiculous media bullshit. And I include ex-players in the media as well. Look, at the end of the day, they're never going to sit down and have a conversation with me or you because they're terrified, but they won't respect it because it's somebody that they'll moan about it in their little groups. Oh, you're seeing him having a go at me, but they won't dare have a conversation because they'll get exposed, or actually there might be a good debate. Actually, they might not get exposed. They might actually surprise us. But this Premier League experience thing, you shouldn't. If I was BT, I'd walk on as the producer, and I'd just take. I'd say to Owen Hargreaves, get off. He'd go, what are you on about? Just get off. Rubbish. We're not paying you for that. Get out, because the opinion is rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish. Premier League experience. What are you talking about? Tell me how many Premier League experienced managers have won the Premier League. Well, all of them, because they managed in the Premier League. No, you know what I'm on about, you clever dick. How many of them managed in the Premier League before they'd won the Premier League? Well, I'd say about 70%. Wrong. It's over 90% didn't. So, look, I think it's lazy opinion. And you know what? It shows you how much research they do when they're not on air. Because we've heard about get Poch the job because he's experienced for about a month. They're obviously not on social media. They're obviously not looking at what people think because they're still saying the same opinion. It shows you how lazy they are in their own time. They don't even think about what other people are saying because Premier League experience is so important. Top 4 is only possible because it's not impossible, says Chris. I like that line. And I think it's absolutely correct. I think top 4 for United is not impossible because it's still possible. But I think we might get lulled into a false sense of security because hopefully we'll win today. You'd expect us to beat Norwich. 6 points will be it. We will be within. I mean, look, if we beat Everton and Norwich and we take 4 points from Arsenal and Liverpool, I might start to think, ooh, that's interesting, because that means we've won at Anfield or the Emirates and we've drawn the other game. Are we going to win at Anfield? We ain't. Even on a good day, even on our best day, we ain't good enough to beat Liverpool, I don't think. Can we win at the Emirates? On a good day, and they're on a not a good day, I think we could. But we just got to do us, and ultimately we've got to win today, haven't we? Talking of winning today, we're very close to 1.3 million subscribers. We're only 300 subscribers away. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. Watch-alongs, match reactions, match vlogs, loads of stuff going on, exciting stuff going on as well, and coming up over the next few weeks and months. So please do subscribe and get involved and join the United Stand community. You don't necessarily agree with what we say, but we will say it. We will open up that conversation. We won't just sit there and go, Man United should get Poch because he's Premier League experience, because such and such said it on the telly. We'll actually call it out and say, but that doesn't make sense. Have you looked at what he's been sacked 3 times from his last 4 jobs? He got sacked from the Premier League. Like, because he was unlucky. All right, then. You're going for a guy that's been sacked 3 times from his last 4 jobs, who's unlucky, but he's got Premier League experience, but you know next to nothing about Erik ten Hag. Well, I know Poch beat him a few years ago. Yeah? Did you know that he's basically on an upward curve? Did you know that most top clubs in the world would want to at least interview him? Did you know that he's built arguably 3 teams? Did you know that he was under Pep for 2 years? Do you know these things? Well, he's not Premier League experienced, is he? Get out. Anyway, look, Erik ten Hag's going to get the job, but it is worth mentioning because I said this last night on the United Stand. The media don't want Ten Hag. They want Poch. And you know what happens when the media don't want somebody? This happened with Mourinho. Within the first 6 weeks of Mourinho being our manager, there was a story in a certain outlet saying he'd lost the dressing room. The media can be arseholes. And also, watch out for some of these ex-players. They wouldn't say anything about their mate Ollie when we were getting embarrassed at Old Trafford. But you can guarantee in the first few weeks of Erik ten Hag, if he loses a game, well, I'm not sure they've made the right decision. So just watch out for those sort of things because their cards are marked, and let's see how they behave. Hopefully, they'll give him the freedom and support that they gave Ollie for 3 years. I don't think they will. If Ten Hag is appointed with full control over everything, he needs to build his vision, get players in he wants. We might just turn a corner, I hope. It's going to be a long corner, Alexander. I think we're not going to turn a corner like Max Verstappen. We'll be turning it like a bus driver with that wide load coming around the corner. But at least we're moving in the right direction. The most important thing for me is that the mountain's high, but we're moving up it. Mark, I think if we gain points, we could enter top 4. There we go, Switchy. Cutting edge there. Mark, I live in Miami and I went out and it's 7:12 a.m. I swear to God, if United bottle it, says Louis. Don't forget to scan the QR code. It's right next to me now. Surfshark are sponsoring the show. Surfshark are a virtual private network. Check them out. You get the first 3 months free plus 83% off when you use the code United Stand. So virtual private network. This is where you load it up on your computer, or you can use it on your computer. You can use it on your phone. Basically shields your data and everything like that and your location so that if you are in the UK, you can say that you're in America, you can say you're in Mexico, whatever like that. And it's really good if you're using online location-specific streaming services, because if you were in New York and you wanted to log in into the UK Netflix because you're on holiday or whatever, then you can do that. So check it out. Links in the chat. Use the code United Stand and you can get 3 months free plus 83% off. Give it a try. And if you want to scan the QR code, just hold your phone up with a camera and it will take you there. Happy birthday, Big Dog Pete, says Super 6. There you go. Happy birthday to Big Dog Pete. Right. Let's go. God, it's flown by. I just want to stand up and stretch mainly, but also use it as an excuse to clap you. I think that's been one of the quickest pre-match chats. It's gone very fast. The Elephant has just subscribed. Thank you. And off topic, are you doing the F1 race tomorrow? Says Vignesh. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I've only said it about 100 times in the last week, but you probably just haven't been on the stream when I've been saying it. So, yeah, 6 a.m. tomorrow. That's football. I'm also doing Villa Spurs at 5:30 because I think if we can win this, that's a massive game in the top 4. I think if Spurs beat Villa today, I think they're favourites for top 4. Why are ex-players against Ten Hag, says Joe. Why do you think they're against Ten Hag? I have my opinion. Why do you think they're against him? I think they're against him because they don't like they don't like the unknown. And basically, they haven't taken the time to research anything about Eric Ten Hag, but they know Pochettino because, I don't know, they maybe met him a couple of times. It's because he's bold, says J7 Sport Video. When did we last win at Everton, says Robert? Very good question. The Express are saying 20 million budget if no top 4. Kirkham. Mark, are we going to sign Gareth Bale? No, Johnny Moss. No, we won't. In relation to the transfer budget, I can rest assured that we will not have your nose hair trimmer tip was great, says Gertchen. Thank you. In relation to the budget for Manchester United, you will get outlets saying we've got 300 million. We haven't. You will get people saying we've only got 20 million. We haven't. Manchester United, if we're not in the Champions League, just do your research. United always spend big when they're not in the Champions League. If we're in the Champions League, the likelihood is we've got 100 million to spend. If we're in the Europa League, we've probably got 150. We will spend more not being in the top 4 because the Glazers just love the top 4. If we're already in the top 4, they've already got the Champions League money. If they're not in the top 4, they need the Champions League money. So we'll spend more by being in the Europa League than we would in the Champions League. I actually think, and this is an interesting take, and I'm sure somebody will say something about it. I might even get clipped because sometimes people take things out of context. But I'm going to say it anyway. I actually think Manchester United being in the Europa League next season will be more beneficial to our rebuild than being in the Champions League for 2 reasons. One, we'll spend more. We always spend more when we're in the Europa League because the Glazers crap themselves because they can't be out the Champions League for 2 years. And we need to spend. So that's one reason it's better in the Europa League because we will spend more. Of course, what quality of player will you bring in, people would say. But I would say we need to bring hungry players that want to play for the club over big superstar players anyway. The second thing, if we're playing Thursday night football, the expectation will be, oh, well, we're not going to win the Champions League because we can't. We're not going to win the league because we're playing Thursday. We're not going to win the league anyway. I think it's more conducive to a rebuild because the quality in the group stage of the Europa League will be less than the Champions League, which means if Ten Hag's got 25 players, he can play some players in the Premier League and some players in the Europa League and get a really good look at the squad in the first few weeks and months of the season. I actually think the Europa League is embarrassing from Solskjaer and the Glazers' point of view, but from Ten Hag's point of view, it could be a better situation because there's more of a spend and there's more games against lesser quality, so more chance to rotate. We will be mathematically safe this weekend if we get a result and Burnley don't, says Darren. And they are against Ten Hag because they don't know him, his philosophy, and they don't like being clueless. Ten Hag will transform us into challengers, says Alvin. And I think ex-players don't like Ten Hag because they don't want it to be shown that the fans know more than they do. Proves their inexperience means nothing, says Meta. I've never thought of it like that. And I can only give you a glimpse. I mean, obviously, I'm very strong opinions. I don't really care if people agree or they don't agree. I like the debate it brings. So, ultimately, you've got to stand by your opinion. Otherwise, you're not going to generate conversation. The glimpse I've had with ex-players, even ex-players I like, and some that are complete knobheads, is that you're right. They're very, very... If I was being stereotypical, and you shouldn't be stereotypical, but if I had to be stereotypical of footballers that I've met and spoken to, that they're very arrogant. And the reason they're arrogant is because they were good footballers who spent a lot of their life being told they're great, surrounded by people who just want to be with them because they're famous. So when they retire, yeah. Okay. So 175 minutes. We'll come back to that. So I agree, Mark. In Europa and no expectations, that's what's allowed Arteta to put Arsenal in the position they're in, says Rich. And thoughts on signing that wonder kid, Jemba, says Tia. So, yeah, I think that if you think about it, these footballers who've had people hanging off their every word, telling them they're great for most of their lives, they become a pundit or whatever, and then they're being called out as their opinion's not very good. Obviously, they've got they don't like it. They don't like it. They're fully aware that the fans are what makes them relevant when they retire. But it doesn't mean that they like their opinions. They don't like to be told that they're wrong. They don't like to be challenged. Of course they don't. Who does? So I think that is a big part of it as well. I think they think, well, I'm paid to be a pundit. My opinion's better than everybody else's. And I've certainly come across that myself. Man United got to do something today. It's 5 a.m. out here, says Isma. So Dorothy was just telling me there that Van Gaal had 175 million spent in his first year. And I don't think we were we weren't in the Champions League. I pretty much remember that we were in the Europa League as well. Mourinho, that was when we spent 90 on Pogba. Spent about 30, I think it was that Bailly that year? Zlatan, Mkhitaryan, so he spent over 150 million. And then Ollie, when we weren't in the Europa League, I think he bought Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, 130. And then, so yeah, I think on average, we've had, forget net spend, we've spent 150 million, probably a little bit more, every time we've not been in the Champions League. And that's not a bad start. Who? 166 for Mourinho. So if Ten Hag gets 150 million and we're in the Europa League, I'm fine. You know, you can get 3 or 4, or hopefully 4, 40 million pound players, really. Yeah, you said Pep's football is hard to watch, but what if Pep got United playing tiki-taka tomorrow, says Tiger? I mean, look, it's like saying I prefer chicken to beef. But if you're starving, you're definitely going to eat the beef, aren't you? So that I think that's the answer to that one. I mean, I prefer Klopp's football to Pep's because I think Klopp's football is closer to Sir Alex, which I loved. But I wouldn't. I mean, I've basically been watching Tony Pulis football for the last 3 years. Sorry, meant to say, does Matic make our midfield better than theirs today? Well, for an hour, Hugh, I think he does. It's the question with Matic is, can he finish the race? The Brit press got banned from Ajax press conversation so he can focus on Ajax. So blame it on him not speaking English well and can't answer tough questions, says Glenn. And Mark, referring back to a question that you were asked, I'd like you to Poch Champions League or Ten Hag. You said Poch Champions League. Are you still sticking with that opinion? Did I say that in the past, Jude? I'm changing my mind. I'm definitely changing my mind. This is the trouble when you're live every day and you get asked questions. They do change. But look, please subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. As you can see, we're very close to 1.3 million in the top right-hand corner. We're also very close to the start of this game. We're only 8 minutes away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. It's free to do. We're only 200 subscribers away from hitting 1.3 million. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We should have some quotes from Ralph Rangnick. They normally do come in before the game. Let's see if he's had anything to say about anything. I suppose there's not a lot to say about anything, really. He's spoken about the need to win. He's spoken about the injuries. So I can't actually see anything. I'm quite surprised that we haven't had anything coming in. Let me just have a check on United Stand. Have they got anything? Let's have a look. Rangnick had to choose between Matic and Pogba, and I decided to start with Nemanja. As a holding six, he's one of the best players we've had in possession of the ball, so that's why I went with him. I mean, that's a very honest answer from Erik Ten Hag. Sorry, from Ralph Rangnick. The only thing I would say about that is if Matic is better than Pogba, why has Matic not been playing instead of McTominay? Because McTominay's been dog shit in that number 6 role. I mean, he has, hasn't he? So I agree with what he says there. I think as a number 6, Matic is better than Pogba. But it's not like Matic has just come back from a year travelling. You know, he's got little shorts on and he's been around like Bangkok, Thailand and everything like that, discovering himself. He's been sat on that bench for all season and you pick McTominay. So, yeah, I think we can win that midfield battle today, and I think that's where the game will be won. Because Delph, Iwobi, and Alan should not be beating Bruno, Fred, and Matic. Bruno's been quite realistically good this season, and sorry, not Bruno. Fred's been pretty good the last few weeks. Matic should give us a bit of stability, and on top of that, Bruno needs a big performance. I thought he was shocking last week, really, considering he got a new contract and we didn't have Ronaldo. But Ranick's also said on the right, I decided for Aaron Wan-Bissaka against Richarlison, so he's gone for that defensive edge, really. Score predictions. I'm going to go 2-0. Let's have a look at your poll. Is top four still likely for United? Yes, 35%, and no, 65%. So we'll end that poll. I think you're probably about right there. I wouldn't disagree with you. I just want to do a match day poll now. So we're going to go results. We're going to go United win, draw, and we'll go with an Everton win because that's who we're playing. And we've got to win today. It doesn't mean we will. I think it's very hard to predict a United result these days, but Gaming Bear says Paul Rideout still gives me nightmares. If you know, you know. Yeah, that was the horrible year. I often speak to Incy about that year. The year was 1995. I was a young teenager. I was probably, I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't drinking. And we'd won the double in 94. We'd won the Premier League and the FA Cup. It's like the History Channel now. And in 96, we won the double with the kids. Cantona came back and we won the double. That was the year that Newcastle bottled it. And 95, we should have won the double. We blew it on the last day of the season at West Ham. Andy Cole missed some sitters. Liverpool beat Blackburn, but Blackburn still won the league. We then had the FA Cup final against Everton and we lost 1-0. And that was the summer where Sir Alex went, right, Hughes, Kanchelskis, Ince, you're off. And he went with the youngsters. And 3 years later, we won the treble. We had to go through 95, as disappointing as it was, because I think if we'd won the double, I'm not sure he would have got rid of Ince, Kanchelskis and Hughes. And then would we have had that development? So, yeah, Alan Hansen, you're right, Barath. But I loved United. It was a pleasure. The 90s were a great time anyway. I mean, that was right at the start of the Oasis and Blur, and the music scene was fantastic. And Man United were just amazing in the mid from basically from 94 to 2000. United that's probably my favourite period of all. Even when we didn't win anything in 98, that Arsenal team was so good. And it makes me laugh as well because people talk about this rivalry between Man City and Liverpool, and it is the biggest rivalry at the moment. But it's this revisionalism, revisionist, isn't it? Like, it's the best Premier League rivalry ever. Oh, sit down and have a biscuit. You're talking out your arse. That Man United-Arsenal rivalry in the late 90s was unbelievable. They won the double, we won the treble. It was a ridiculously brilliant rivalry. And they were really good, and we were really good. Anyway, back to reality. We're fighting for 8th, and Everton could be getting relegated. So let's get on with this. I'm ready to go. I hope you are. We're 3 minutes away from the start of this match. I really do think the first few minutes are key. If this Everton team, I'm telling you now, this crowd, people think, oh, this crowd. I think this crowd, if we score, we can silence this crowd. They'll turn on Lampard. They'll lose their shit. They'll demand Sam Allardyce, and we'll win. If they score before us, our heads will drop. The crowd will roar. It's really important that we score the first goal, and it's really important that we turn that crowd against Everton. We need to do it like Barca and trust our youth, says Alvin. Well, I'm disappointed that Garnacho's not on the bench today, because I'm not saying I would have used him, but sticking 2 goalkeepers on your bench, look, I think it just sends the wrong message. And we've become the club this season that puts 2 goalkeepers on the bench. I think it's sad. Mark, have you seen School Thuggery's video about you and Ollie? I've laughed so hard every time I watch it. I saw it a while ago, Nate. Is it the one with the James Bond thing in it? It is quite funny, yeah. 14% are going with an Everton win. I think that's very low. But I like the confidence. I do like the confidence. Garnacho played yesterday, says Adam. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Thomas, sorry for missing your super chat, but you are a member. Big shout out to Thomas. Let's see if I can still find it for you. I can. What made you want to start the United Stand? What was the vision? Did you know the team beforehand? Loving every show, the team from the beginning. That's a really weird super chat, Thomas, a minute before kickoff. I started the United Stand basically because I was fed up of what we've just been talking about 20 minutes ago, mainstream media and uneducated punditry, where it's lazy. Like they get asked a question about something that's important and they've done sod all research on it. So they go, well, I'll go for Poch because he's Premier League. I just got fed up of looking at the TV screen and going, what are you talking about? You don't speak for the fans because you don't actually respect the fans, because you don't respect yourself enough to do some bloody research. And that's where it started, really. And we started this community, and now people actually can get involved and have a say. Nate and Kmar, thank you very much for joining the members club. Don't forget to check the Anthony versus Rashford exclusive video for the members. If you are a member, it's well worth a watch. Yash there with his first member chat. And please do subscribe. We're trying to hit 1.3 million today. I'm really excited about this game. It's a really exciting weekend of sport. I'm doing Aston Villa against Spurs at 5:30. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. It's the Formula One Grand Prix in Australia. I'm doing that live on That's Football as well. And then, of course, it's Liverpool Man City tomorrow. I don't know what to think about that, but I will be watching it, as I'm sure many of you will be, doing a watch-along. But it's Man United at Everton. Everton staring down at relegation. Manchester United staring down Conference League. There's no prize today for either of these two teams. It's basically about respectability. If Everton lose, you could be going down to the Championship. If Manchester United lose, we could be looking at the Conference League. Tom Dent, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thank you very much. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's get ready to rumble. It's Everton and it is Manchester United. Come on, United. Eric Ten Hag's our new manager. Nathan, welcome to the Members Club. It's a new dawn for United. Let's see a bit of oomph. Come on, Eric's watching. The fans are expecting a bit of a reaction. Let's go. We're going to do this. A new Manchester United with new eyes and a new vision. We're ready to go. Let's get it done. United for the win, and we're off. All the way through, I was thinking there, that's going to get clipped. And then I'm going to be going to, oh, fucking hell, it's 4-0 to Everton. I was just thinking that when I was doing that. You've got to be really careful about how positive you are these days, because it can just backfire big time. Anyway, we started the game 20 seconds in, and it's a fiery start. United, they're going to come at us hard. They're going to fly in, and we've got the only way to react is to react. We've got to go. We can't sit back. We've got to get at them. And Everton have started off very much on the front foot here. There's a ball in, well read by Tellez. Look how. Bloody hell, it's Harry the Hoover and Victor the Vacuum again. Did you see how close Tellez was to Maguire then? I mean, it worked, but he was tucked in like he was going to bed. I thought we were going to give him a bedtime story. He was tucked in so well. Got to get the width. Got to get the width going. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 1.3 million. We need to see a big game from Rashi today, Pat. You're right. Why is Rashford even playing, says Mark. I mean, I don't care. I didn't really care whether he started last week, and I don't care whether he starts this week. I mean, really, it's Rashford or Elanga. I think the problem is we need to go and buy a right forward, because the fact is we're picking a youngster or Marcus Rashford. And really, that just shows you the lack of depth that we've got. What did I think about the F1 qualifying, Samuel? I was quite happy with the British lads, Russell, Lando and Hamilton. Well, Lando 4th, Hamilton 5th, Russell 6th, Leclerc on pole. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's been an exciting start to the F1 this season. Anyway, back onto here, because I know that's what we're here for. Yeah, I think it's been a tentative start from United here. You never know what you're going to get with United, do you? That's the problem. You never know what you're going to get. You just don't know. Gaming Bear says, I hope Rashford will turn it around. I think there's every chance that Rashford will turn it around. I'm a big fan of Rashford. I get some people who think I don't like Rashford, but they obviously don't watch the show. Rashford's, for 4 or 5 years, I always used to say Rashford and Martial were my favourite players, and then Bruno came along, and then Ronaldo. So he's still there. He's still a player I really like. But one thing I refuse to do is he's playing off the left today as well. I mean, he's being accommodated. We've got Sancho off the right. So I hope that works, because he's really... We didn't do that. We didn't even do that for Elanga. So the fact that we're playing him off the right is quite interesting, isn't it? I've just sort of clocked on that. But look, he can't have any excuses. Everton win a header there. Calvert-Lewin beating Maguire in the air. He can't be losing those, but Fred wins it back. Mark, how do you react if United refuse Eric Ten Hag's demands for control and we bottle it? Says David. Oh, the club would be in huge problems. Photo Loco, thanks very much for subscribing. Yeah, if United didn't end up with Ralph Rangnick, it would be massively embarrassing for them. Sorry, Eric Ten Hag. I keep getting Rangnick and Ten Hag mixed up. So Rashford playing off the left. He's got no excuses. He's got to put in a performance here. He's got to deliver. Got to deliver. I think it puts pressure on him, but he's also against Seamus Coleman, who, I mean, I remember wanting Seamus Coleman to sign for United. It feels like 10 years ago. Fabian Delph just skipping past Bruno. Come on, lads. I'm not overly happy with this first 5 minutes. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but it just feels lethargic again. Get your heads in the game. Even Rashford again, he just doesn't look like he's moving. It's Bruno, Fred. That's it. Get hold of the ball a bit. Get hold of the ball. There's a lack of energy here in the first few minutes. It's like, look at this. What's this? It's like we're 3-0 up. Playing against the team we need to win, who've got no confidence, and we're passing it around the fucking back. Where's the intensity? Here we go, Fred. That's nice play between Telles and Rashford. Come back to Bruno. Win the corner. Or is it a goal kick? Goal kick, bollocks. Jimmy says it's a terrible start. I wouldn't say it's a terrible start. It's just a bit flat again. I just don't know. We just never seem to have any... you know, I see certain teams, and I'm not even talking Liverpool, Man City. You do see certain teams who in the first 5 minutes are just they're up for it, and they're just very lethargic team. I can't wait for Eric Ten Hag to come in and start clearing out some of this shit or making it better, because there's just not everyone's walking. I mean, it's just there. Everton have got the ball and we're walking. You're professional footballers. You're on a couple of $100,000 a week. Nobody's on their toes, are they? It's just walk. Get on your fucking toes. This performance will say a lot about who wanted Ten Hag and who wanted Poch, says Dean Corbett. The thing I do like about Matic is that he will pull and try and take the ball off the back four. He won't hide. Look at him. There he is. He's going to do it now. Give me the ball, Harry. You see? But Tomini never does that because he's not used to it. I don't think he's got the confidence to do it. If Matic was 26, we'd be fine. Nice little ball there into Bruno. That'll be a free kick as well. Good ball by Rashford into him. Oh, it was Telles who went down, actually. You might want to book him for that. Oh, it's Moss. It's bloody John. He won't get his yellow cards out. It's too much effort. He'll need a breather afterwards. He'll need a timeout. That's a yellow card. Should book him for that. To be fair, I think actually from that angle, I don't think he even fouled him. I think Telles played for it. Right, free kick to Manchester United. AFC says it wasn't even a foul. I think he's played for the foul, but probably a bit far out to hit this. I'd let Ronaldo hit it. Remember when Rashford used to hit free kicks? Nowhere to be seen. I think with the sun in Pickford's eyes and his little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, it looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex in his green kit today. I think Bruno's going to cross it. I'd shoot. gone for the cross. Lindelof headed away. Fred. Oh, good shot. It was Rashford, actually. Good save by Pickford. Better. Close. I mean, Maguire was offside there. I mean, I don't think it would have been given offside, but good shot by Rashford, that. As Sally Devil Red 7 says, better. Right, corner. Where's Maguire? It's hit him on the back. I didn't like that corner routine at all. Oh, I thought he'd scored. Oh, I was about to go, shoo! Ronaldo scored and it hit the back of the net. But it hit the bloody thing behind it and he was offside. Yeah, he was. Good shot by Ronaldo, though. How close was that? No, that's Rashford's shot. To be fair, that was an easy save for Pickford. It just makes it look good because he jumps like that. So, see, this is the thing. Bit more intensity. We'll beat this lot. We've had the better start without really playing with a high intensity. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're only 150 away from 1.3 million. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Everton on the attack here. Got to find a way to win. Goal kick. Thoughts on the game, says Tom. I think Everton are shit, to be honest. I think everyone knows that. And I think if a decent team was playing Everton today, they would beat them comfortably. It's just how decent United are going to be. We've clearly started a bit apprehensive. And I think that's very obvious from the way that Rangnick said, I've picked Wan-Bissaka because of Richarlison. I would have picked Delo because it's Everton and attacked them. I think we've gone a little bit defensive for me. And I don't think we need to. But let's see what happens. Good kick by De Gea into Ronaldo. And that's a goal. It's our throw-in, yeah. Thanks for the super chat from Yellow Bathing Suit. He says, Mark, do you think with the appointment of a new manager, most of these players will be here for at least another year because he would want to give them all a clean slate? I think that the players that will leave will be the Pogbas, the Lingards, the Cavani's because they're out of contract. I think maybe Eric Bailly will force a move as well. But I think people like, I mean, look, let's just use a few examples. Your McTominays, your Freds, your Wan-Bissakas. I think those players will be given a year because I think it will take time to get rid of them. But also, I think the manager, much in the way that Arteta did at Arsenal, it took him time to get rid of Aubameyang and Ozil and Bellerin and the players that he didn't want. And Leno's still there, but he's replaced him, hasn't it? So it takes time. It will take time. 11 minutes gone. Everton haven't really done anything yet. United looking better. There's Bruno. That should have gone a lot quicker into Ronaldo. Now it's with Matic. Who has Matic? I tell you what, Matic for me has been one of the bright spots. That underrated CDM role. Oh, great save! Oh, Rashford. He's had a good start. It's a great save by Pickford and it's a header by Rashford. It's a save by Pickford. I don't know how good the save was. But it was a lovely cross that came in. I think Bruno puts the cross in. Rashford gets ahead of the defender. Let's have a look. Probably should score. That's the only thing I would say. He's probably closed his eyes, which we know Rashford has a tendency to do. I think from there he should score, really. 6 yards out, you get your head on it. If he's closed his eyes, he's not going to be able to direct it. But he still had good for his confidence. John says, if Ten Hag decides De Gea isn't his cup of tea, would you give Henderson a chance next season or go into a market for a goalkeeper? I don't personally think Henderson's good enough to play in a top 4 side. I understand why some people like Henderson, but I would, if you want a specialist, goalkeeper, then I would buy one. I wouldn't say Rashford's doing great, Kevin. He's had a much better start than normal. Sean Dyche, welcome to the United Stand Members Club.
Sean Dyche, you better fucking beat Everton, Goldie.
Nothing to do with me, Sean. Yeah, but as I was saying before, I think Matic has brought some real stability to this team that we don't normally have. Obviously, I don't think Everton are particularly good, but it makes a big difference to just have a CDM who puts his foot on the ball and knows how to play the position. United fans rashing out realistically new contracts as Grace Sheridan. I think it's been a steady start from United. I think we're starting to push a little bit now. The intensity's there. Good interception by Fred. Time and time again, he does that. Bruno. Ronaldo. Oh, good tackle, Michael Keane. I thought that was going to be a goal. Everton are all over the place here. We've got to ram this down. This is what I'm talking about. The Goodison crowd, even though they're not losing, they'll be sensing United are on top here. And they'll start to turn. They're poor Everton, aren't they? This is a terrible start by Everton, considering they must win this game. They need some momentum. They're heading to the Championship. And remember, a lot of these players, they'll be taking some of them might be leaving. They might have relegation clauses, but some of them will be like big wage reductions when you get relegated. They're not playing with any intensity, are they? Poor. Brian, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Nelson says Rashford's playing for the new contract extension. Well, can anyone remember Willian a couple of years ago at Chelsea? He was basically world class for about 2 months. And then he went to Arsenal and he was shit. Like he had been before that 2 months. Bruno's man of the match so far, says Joseph. Well, let's not talk about man of the matches until we've actually got this first goal. Good play by Wan-Bissaka, and then it's a bad pass. Good win by Lindelof there. He just floored Richarlison. That's it. I think Fred and Matic have had a good start. You've got to put a bit of context, though. Everton's midfield today, Doucouré's on the bench, Gomez is on the bench, Dele Alli's on the bench, and he's gone with a midfield three of Alan, Iwobi, and Delph. Yeah, if I was an Everton fan, I'd be saying sack Lampard. Frank Lampard, maybe the worst manager in the league right now, says Lucas. Everton have to stay up, but they've got absolutely no energy. Yeah. Jake Johnson, welcome to the Members Club. Let's go. Very well.
Yeah, she got injured.
Bad.
No, she had to come off.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've got no sympathy for Everton. I want Manchester United to win, of course, but I do think that I can look. You can still look at the opposition and go, that midfield shit. Fabian Delph, Alan, and Iwobi. I mean, what's happened to Andre Gomez? What's happened to Doucouré? And there maybe is their end of the lesson that Lampard actually isn't a very good coach. Why is Ronaldo not playing in the box? Says Michael. There's a lot of drifting from Ronaldo. Yeah, I think Rashford and him have exchanged a couple of times. Right, Ronaldo's shown a lot of mobility though. This is good as well. Matic pulling out from the CDM position to put a bit of pressure on. Wan-Bissaka does well there. And again, he's done well. Wan-Bissaka's had it. There's a few players today that I think you go, ooh, they've not been very good this season. Wan-Bissaka, Rashford. And I mean, even Tellez to a certain extent, and Matic hasn't had much of a run in the team, and I think they definitely look different. If Everton get relegated, would it be the biggest relegation in the history of Premier League? Says Asta. Good off his line there from De Gea. Very sharp off his line. I don't think Everton have ever been relegated. John, that's a rude statement. I'm sorry you're blocked. If you're going to be, you haven't got the right to come on and be rude. Grant, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Good ball into Rashford. Heavy first touch. Everton to clear it. Wan-Bissaka in on the back of Richarlison there. I don't think that. He's sponsored by Speedo. He's basically the Brazilian Lacazette. He's exactly like Lacazette. He makes a meal out of everything. I tell you what, it must be great going around his house on a Saturday night because he makes a meal out of absolutely everything. Look at him. There's nothing wrong with him at all. He's just trying to get somebody booked. Welcome to the Members Club, Ian. Thank you very much. Just while we've got a break in the play here, please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Very close to 1.3 million. Thanks, everyone, for tuning. Yeah, I'll keep pushing it. We're only 50 away. We're only 50 away from 1.3 million. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved. I do need to end the poll. Thank you very much for letting me know about that, Zach. So 64% of you went with the United win. 21% went with a draw. 15% went with an Everton win. That was before kickoff. And I've got to say, having watched 20 minutes of this game, I don't think you're wrong. Everton have been terrible. Haven't watched United since the humiliation against Atletico. Come on, United, to Sebastian. And Matic can see the vacuum effect of the centre-backs as he's telling the full-backs to spread, says Rich. I think Matic has been the major factor to this so far. Terrible ball by Fred, but we have won it back. And now it's back with Bruno. We've got a bit of a 3v4. Watch out. Where are you going, Bruno? Fucking rubbish. He's got 4 options there and he just whips a heavy cross into nobody. Come on. That's rubbish. You've got Ronaldo pulling back. You've got Rashford front post. And he just, that's aimless. What is he I don't even know what he's looking to do here. Who's he trying to hit? I think he's trying to hit Sancho on the front post. Poor. I need to take advantage of this, because if you go in 0-0 at half-time, a team can change with a half-time talk. We've got to take advantage of the fact that Everton have been really poor here. Game versus Liverpool will be better. Decider for both sides, says Tilak. Donny's not on the bench because he can't. I think he's been injured anyway, Taj, but he wouldn't be allowed to play against us as his parent club. Made a meal and threw it up on Sunday. There's Matic again. Oh, he's having a great game, Matic, In a tight space there, and he still finds the pass. We've been loads better today. Loads better. We just need the goal, but we have played so much better. I really do think having a number 6 makes such a difference. And imagine what we'll be like next season if we buy a proper 6 that can play 90 minutes 3 times a week. My only problem is we need to score because Matic will run out of energy. He's like me on pro clubs. I sprint around for the first hour and then I'm knackered for the last half an hour. There he is again, wins a 50-50 and the throw-in. It is. I mean, you can tactically break a game down till you're blue in the face, but the reality is it sticks out like a sore thumb. Look at McTominay against Leicester last week, abysmal. Look at Matic this week, just running the game. And I guarantee he's probably played more passes in 20 minutes than McTominay did in an hour. There's Ronaldo. Everton have done sod all here, which worries me a little bit. We need to win. Need to win here. Oh, Everton have been relegated, but it was in the 50s, so stop it. Graham says this is almost like a competition of who's going to lose the game first. Well, I don't think we've had. What I wouldn't say is it's very hard to understand how good Manchester United are because Everton have been so bad. But you play 38 games. Sometimes you play a crap team. You just got to beat them. We know we've got Arsenal and Liverpool to play in a couple of weeks, and they probably won't be crap like this. So we'll find out how good we are then. But today, you've just got to beat the crap team, and that's what's in front of us. And they have been crap. I mean, David De Gea, I saw him there with an iPad a minute ago going like this. I think he was doing his Tesco shop. So, you know, multitasking. He's always thinking ahead. We've hit 1.3 million subscribers, apparently. Thank you very much, everyone. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We are live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. United can't lose against the Iwobi, surely, says Vicious. Well, we have. So far, we are winning the midfield battle. Calvert-Lewin has barely touched the ball, and hopefully that will continue. It's a poor ball by Maguire. Oh, fuck knows what that was. Terrible. Don't give them possession, basically. Here's Matic again. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at Matic here, spreading the team out. I love it. Matic he's running that team. It's so good to see. Have you seen that? He's telling them what to do, dropping in between the centre-backs. Hi, Mark. I think it'll be a tight win, but United need to show a bit more energy to get the win. Happy Ramadan for all fellow Muslims, says Mohammed. Thank you very much for the lovely chat there. Prefer Scooby-Doo to Matic because he runs more, says D3. Oh, great. Well, Matic has been everywhere. He might not make half time. We said 60 minutes, but he's been everywhere. He's having a great game. He's running the game. He's playing 1-2s. He's pushing forward. That's a bad pass. Bad pass by Tellez. But then Ronaldo wins it back. Ronaldo's been very, very energetic as well. Who passed that to Matic there? He's just giving it away. It was a bloody hospital pass, though. Now Ricarlison... See, I've noticed this from our defence. In the last few minutes, we've played some bad passes. And if you give Everton the ball... Goal. Fucking hell! Bloody jokers! Absolute twat. Who gave the ball? Who played that pass to Matic? That's what it all came from. The hospital pass to Matic. They've bloody gone and scored. They've done absolutely nothing, and we end up conceding a goal. Bloody hell. Like a dodgy kebab on a Friday night. Manchester United, weekend ruiners. Food poisoning. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. How do you concede to this absolute bunch of prats? They're rubbish, Everton. Who plays this pass? Who played that pass to Matic? I want the name. I want the name on who passes that to Matic. Fucking joke. Who does it deflect off? Just where's the intensity? Maguire, well, there's not a lot he can do about that. Bloody idiot. I don't understand how we're 1-0 down here. Gordon for Everton, 27 minutes. If you're just tuning in, it's literally their first shot on goal. They've been absolutely crap, Everton. But you could see it coming. We'd done okay for about 20 minutes. And then there was some lazy passes coming out from the back where we're gifting possession. You can't give possession to the opposition. I don't think it's Maguire's fault. I don't. I think it hits him. I don't personally think it's his fault. Mark, I'm sorry, but if we want to be an attacking possession-based team, Wan-Bissaka needs to be benched, says Sharath Kamas Fitness. Old Fridge says Pat, and Yatis, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. I'd have to see it again. But Maguire turned his back, says Josh. I'd have to see it again. The thing for me is that all I can remember is Matic gets a ball when he's got 2 Everton players on him, and whoever plays that pass, it's just possession gone, and then you're on the back foot. Fred made the pass, apparently. Well, that's the problem with Fred, isn't it? He's all heart, but he passes like a trampoline in a gale. You just never know where it's going to go. The chat is saying it's Fred. Everton. I'll tell you what, if you're David De Gea as well, if you look back on the goals we've conceded this season, of which there has been many, how many goals? He must just sit there every night going, I've conceded so many goals this season that there's nothing I can do about them as well. I mean, to be fair, he's probably saved a lot of goals where he could have done something about it as well. But I mean, Everton have done nothing. You've got to keep the ball. Here comes the fall, Mark. I'm telling you, we're not getting a result now. Well, this is the problem, Lucas. We spoke about it before the kickoff. If we score first, this Everton fat crowd will turn against them. And they were starting to turn against them because Everton were playing bad. Now they've got a goal. This lot will drop their heads. Shambles, Mark. Absolutely shambles. Says Malps. Everton served this game on a plate for us and we couldn't take advantage. Tough job now, says Sean Finity. Vignesh says, Mark, does team do any passing drills? Can they even pass, says Vignesh. Good cross coming in from there. I mean, I think Ronaldo's been lively. Here comes the foot. We've done that. Welcome. Matteson says our defence is crap. Mark. Rashad, thank you very much for the super chat there. Well, if you're a West Ham fan, you're an Arsenal fan, you're a Liverpool. Well, Liverpool fans won't really care. If you're an Arsenal fan, Spurs fan, West Ham, you're watching this and you're like, this is going to be our weekend, because it's one of those games where we're losing to a team that's dreadful. There's Fred doing that again. You bloody paid the stupid pass in the first place, you prat. You know what? If I was coaching Fred, I'd say, right, take this football home. Have you got a wall? I think so. Well, you must have one. You live in a house. You know that wall? Go and kick it against it 100 times a day and control it. And then draw a square on the wall and make sure you pass to the square. His passing is terrible. Harry Maguire just appealed for the Matic handball. He's a shambles, says Cullum. And we need a total reset at the club from top to bottom, says Sebastian. The scary thing is that when we were watching that goal, even before the goal happened, that pass to Matic, I said it and some people in the chat said it. Who's played that pass? It's like a terrible pass. I didn't know it was going to lead to a goal, but it's like you've got to call that sort of stuff out. Ten Hag can't fix this. If you think he can, sorry, you're naive. He'll need 5 transfer windows, says MA. And Grumpy, thank you very much for becoming a member. Well, Everton have. The trouble is, if you think about the 20 minutes before the goal, we were dominating the game. If you look at the 7 minutes since they've scored, what's happened? Everton have started to run the game because their heads have dropped again. Cross comes in. Sell the incompetent players, says Rahul. Bruno heads away. Fabian Delph. He's onside. Where's the defence? He's given an offside. You can't be losing. You can't be losing this game. If Ten Hag also plays Maguire, Fred, then we need change of owners. No manager can be a success under these owners, says United voice. Pogba's coming on. Martin Keown said Maguire is too accommodating to play on the left. Tellez being good at passing. Well, this is going to be interesting. Pogba for who? If it's Matic, I'm going to lose my shit. Well, this is really, really interesting here. It can't be for Matic. It can't be for Matic. And I can't see anybody injured. It's got to be for Fred. It won't be Matic. Unless he's injured, it can't be. It won't be Matic. I think it'll be Fred, or I don't think it'll be Rashford either. It's got to be Fred. Yeah, it's Fred. It's surely Fred. He's having a crap game. Fred's limping, says Vicious. Yeah, you'd expect it. It must be an injury. Vacation says it's Fred. He's hurt. Why is Pogba getting instructions from Fletcher? Says Seb Watson. I don't think Rangnick would make a substitution on 35 minutes to bring Paul Pogba on, who's leaving in the summer. So it must be an injury thing. Will be even worse with Pogba, said somebody there. Richarlison, don't stand off. What a save by De Gea. It's nearly another deflection here. I thought that was going in as well. Deflects up over there. De Gea, well, it's not a great save. It's a standard save, but I thought for a minute it might be deflecting in. It goes for a corner. United have just gone very flat. Look at Lampard acting all cool. You jammy, Frank. It's Fred off. Corner to Everton. Oh, God. Get rid of it, Alan. Rashford. Oh, it's lazy pass again. These passes it really annoys me. These passes are 5-yard passes. We're playing in the bloody Premier League. You're under no pressure. You can see the red shirt. The ball's at your feet. It's a 5-yard pass and you're under hitting it. Like, I can't understand. It's across the whole season. I can't understand how many players cannot play the most simplest of passes. They underhit it. They overhit it. They misdirect it. You can't gift possession away at this level. And we've been doing it all season. It's laziness. You know what it is? It's laziness, lack of attention, which basically comes down to lack of care. I've never seen a United side so low in confidence as Lee. Well, I don't know whether this Fred substitution's a good substitution or not. I mean, look, I feel he had a big part to play in the goal. But what worries me is McTominay's injured. Fred's gone off injured. Matic can normally only play an hour. So we're now going to ask him to play 90 minutes. Pogba has been very, very mixed this season. He just lost the ball, but Matic does well. Lovely ball by Matic. Tellez, come on. This is what you're there for. Oh, doesn't get the cross in. Lico says, is Rashford playing? Well, you could say the same of Sancho, really. Sancho's been very quiet. 7 minutes to half time. This game's perfect for Everton now. We've given them the goal. They sit back. They hit us on the break. Just ridiculous. Got to get some crosses into the box. This is 2019 Ollie vibes, says Sebastian Bodry. Well, I'd be stunned if we conceded that many. Here's Sancho. Decent cross. No. And it's a throw-in, not a corner. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I've never seen we've done that from Lee. This is relegation level football from United, says Lee. O'Rourke. I don't really understand the Wan-Bissaka selection, you know. It's too defensive. You're telling me Richarlison's going to school Delo to... I don't get that. I don't get that. Especially when you're going to put Sancho on the right. If you're going to put Sancho on the right, play Delo for the overlaps. That's another lazy pass there. That's Bruno that time. The weight's crap and he's under no pressure. Architects of our own downfall here. It's not looking after the ball. Is Hannibal on the bench? Yes, Stuart, he is. That's a nice ball into Tellez. Oh, unlucky. Alistair says they just don't care anymore. Well, I think there's been a general lack of intensity from Manchester United in this game. I would say that. We look second to everything now, says Mr. Dan United. Heads have gone down. Everton want it more. Well, they've got something to want, haven't they? They've got 3 points at the moment. So Everton looks completely lost. Then you gift them a goal. Catching up after a while, how's it been? Also, you think getting Ten Hag will help in getting De Jong or De Ligt would be super useful, says Nickette. I don't think De Jong is leaving Barcelona, and I don't think De Ligt's the right sort of player for what United need. We've given Everton a head start here. The worst thing you can do is give a bad team confidence. And we've done it. Build up so slow. My God, it's frustrating, says Matteo Red Devil. Well, I mean, look, I wouldn't say I can't wait for the summer because there's still so much to play for this season. And I don't want to finish 8th. I don't. But we desperately need this reset. We desperately need a manager who's going to be a manager. I mean, some of these players have had a real issue with playing for an interim, which I think is just ridiculous. You play for the fans, you play for the shirt, and some of them seem to have forgotten that. But we need somebody to come in who can make changes, who can kick people out of the club, who can bring new people in. Because this is, I mean, I look at this and I think, again, Bruno Fernandes, if you told me that was, I don't know, a Preston midfielder, I wouldn't know the difference. I'm like, and that's the thing. I'm not seeing this quality. I'm not seeing the quality. Across the team, I don't see the quality. That's not Marcus Rashford. That's not Jadon Sancho. That's not Cristiano Ronaldo. That's not Bruno Fernandes. We're just for whatever reason, and I'm not saying those individual players aren't trying, but we're just not utilising the talent of these players. I'm just misremembering, or didn't Sancho have almost all his success on the right at Dortmund? Why do we insist on playing him on the left? He's on the right today, Scott, and he did play off the left quite a lot at Dortmund. Why has Bruno been given a new contract? I love Bruno, but what has she shown in the last few months to be given 250k a week, says Ivan. Is it time to admit we were a better side under Ollie? God, that's from Bricktop. I mean, look, what are you talking about? Like, we got smashed by Watford, Leicester, Liverpool, Man City. We were jammy against most teams that we played. I mean, look, this is bad, but it ain't that bad. Good cross in. United win a corner. This is where we need Maguire to get his head on it. We need a goal before half time here. Would you say it's a maximum on the wing? No, we need better than that. We go for Anthony, shall. Does Van... whoa. Oh, what a terrible corner by Telles. Terrible corner. Does Van Hag start McFred next season, says 58 Go? I mean, I hope not. I hope not. But you never know what proper training and development could do to a player. I mean, there's an up for most of these players because they played so badly this season. It's hard to play worse than they are. You'd expect some improvement from all of them. But whether that improvement would ever be sufficient enough, I don't know. I mean, I personally don't think you can challenge for titles with Maguire and Lindelof or McTominay and Fred. I just don't think you can do that. But there has to be some improvement first. I mean, we're playing a midfield that's got Fabian Delph and Iwobi in it. I mean, let's not forget that Everton midfield is Alan, Iwobi and Delph. Can you imagine what a Liverpool or a Man City would do to them? Nearly half time here. I've never hated a side so much as this one. Arrogant, spoiled, self-centered prats. They lack ability and desire. Some of them didn't even break a sweat, says Fahad. How much will Ten Hag realistically need to spend over 2 years? North of 250 million, I think, Tom. I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose the goal that they scored was a little bit against the run of play, but it wasn't a surprise. We gifted possession and then we didn't defend properly. And all right, it's a lucky goal the way it deflects, but we've done nothing since. That's always my problem with United. You can give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, the goal came from a stupid individual error, but we've not responded to it. Give me strength. Watching United play is about as entertaining as watching my grandma knit, says Ginger. That sounds very entertaining at the moment. And hi, Mark, it's getting more and more difficult to support Man United. It's testing my patience, says Max. Well, you never stop supporting your team, but I know what you mean. It's these players. Corner to Everton here. Everton scored nearly 20 minutes ago. United have responded like a dead fish in the sun, stinking up the place, rotting. It's just they're about. I mean, the fan base is excited about getting a new manager in, and this lot. I think it's half time, is it? Yeah. They've got two different dressing rooms, haven't they? One down in the corner and one in the other corner because they're going off to separate places. Yeah, it is half time. Manchester United losing 1-0 at half time to Everton. I mean, just exactly what we said before the match. Whoever scores the first goal in this game, it will have a massive impact on the opposition. I think if United had scored, that Everton crowd would have turned against them and it would have been us with the momentum. Everton score and United's heads drop. It's so predictable. You don't really understand how it happens because before the Everton goal, United were the better side. And all right, we hadn't made chance after chance after chance, but we had the ball. We had a bit of momentum. Everton looked very poor. They score on 25 minutes. And then for the next 20 minutes, United looked terrible because their heads dropped. Weak mentality players. And unfortunately, the goal that Everton scored was completely the sort of goal we've been conceding all season. It comes from a bad pass. I think it was Fred who plays a bad pass. We lose possession. We'd played a couple of bad passes before that. We were starting to gift up possession. They end up with a shot on the edge of the box. It deflects off Maguire. It goes in. Some people seem to think it's Maguire's fault. I didn't think it was on the first thing. But ultimately, we've not responded to that goal. And again, you'd look at that team and you'd go, well, one thing I would say about Maguire is what I've been saying all season. People want to clap him and applaud him and give him some sympathy. He's the captain of the team. Forget his performance. He's the captain of the team. There's never any response. The captaincy, the leadership in that team in general is abysmal. Nobody's playing for that club. Nobody's playing for that badge. This is Manchester United, and we can predict that if they concede a goal, that's it, they're done. And yet again, it's happened. We were reasonably okay. I felt Matic was running the game up until the goal. And since then, it's just heads down. Bruno Fernandes, where's he been? Rashford, where have they been for the last 20 minutes of that half? Ronaldo, Sancho, they're not in the game at all. Wan-Bissaka's playing because he's defensively good. We're playing a team that's parking the bus. Why didn't Delot start? Lindelof and Maguire, Matic is having to order them to split because they just want to hold hands. He's like, get apart. Look, De Gea's not had anything to do apart from pick the ball out of the net from a deflected shot. It's lethargic. It's another testimonial approach to the game. I think some of these United players need to take a trip to a game where a team still have a chance of something and look at how they fight for it, says Colin. At least half this team have got to be replaced, says JP. Mark, this is the players protesting for Poch, says Sebastian. Tellez has given the ball away more than a dog playing fetch, says Carl. Maguire, hopeless, misplaced a 12-yard pass, shouldn't have turned his back and make himself smaller, says Mike. I'd need to see that again before I say anything. We'll see it again in a minute. Bottom line is that we have a squad and backups at almost every starting position. Those are brutal facts. These players have been gassed up by fans, says Alligator. Wasn't a bad pass from Fred. Matic lost the ball in midfield and Everton went on to score, says Bradley. Bradley, don't tell me how to watch a game of football, right? You've got your opinion, I've got mine. Don't dictate to me that you know something better than anybody else. I called it out before the ball went in the net. I said, who passed that to Matic? He's got 2 players on him. I've played football, I've watched football. That's called a hospital pass. A hospital pass is when you play a pass to somebody they've got no chance of doing anything with. Yes, Matic loses the ball, but the pass should never go to him. He's got 2 Everton players with his back to them, and Fred, who can see the danger, passes the dangerous ball to him and he loses the ball. It's called a hospital pass. Fred's not under pressure. Fred should go, that's not a pass to play. There's a more intelligent pass to keep the ball, and we lose the ball. Matic doing captain work instead of the actual captain, says Antonio. I think Matic has been one of our best players, to be honest with you. Louis Van Gaal said recently, this is a commercial club, not a football club, says Gerchin. Mark, I have to be honest, I'm at the point I don't even care. I've never been so disconnected from these players. It's horrible, says Scott Power. And Nick Stevens says, Bruno tries way too many Hail Marys. He's so impatient. We also need more first-time crossers in, says Nick Stevens. And spot on, Mark, hospital pass, applause, says Mikael Roach. Well, hopefully they'll show it us again in a moment. But I think in general, I'm really disappointed. From 1 to 11, I'm really disappointed in the player. I mean, apart from probably David De Gea and Nemanja Matic, I'm really disappointed with the players. Like, we've had a really exciting week where we know Erik ten Hag's going to be our manager. I've seen so much positivity from the fan base in what is a very bad season. I think the fans have shown some maturity and patience and gone, this is the right appointment. We might be heading in the right direction. It's been a horrible season, but look, this is something exciting. And look, who's inflicted the horrible season on us? Those players. So this week, the fans who've been inflicted, leaks, bad results, appalling behaviour by these players, we find some positivity and we expect that positivity from these players, and they've shown absolutely none again. They've inflicted this painful season on us, and they can't even produce a performance when the fans are looking to the future and thinking maybe we're heading in the right direction. It's just, if I'm Erik ten Hag and I'm watching that, I'm like, that's them when they know I'm coming into the job. That's them when a new manager's coming in. It's so bad. The lack of effort and intensity is all I would say is, if you want to see what you're meant to play like for Manchester United, just pick a random game from, the late noughties with Rooney or Keane 10 years before, or Beckham in the late 90s. Or Giggs. Just watch how a Giggs, a Beckham, a Rooney or a Keane would play in a Man United shirt. And I don't mention defenders because I'm talking about midfield. And Rooney was a forward, but he'd just be after the ball. Giggs would be after the ball. Beckham would be after the ball. Talented players. Some of the best players we've seen in the Premier League, when they've not got the ball, sliding in to get the ball, harassing the opposition. We don't see any of that. Their attitude stinks. And I've watched this for years and years. The Beckhams, the Giggs, the Rooneys, when they haven't got the ball, harassing, running. You're telling me in the year 2022 that these Rashfords, these Sanchos, these Brunos, they're not as fit as what Beckham, Scholes and Giggs were 20 years ago or 15 years ago. They're fitter, but they don't run around enough. I can't believe I'm sat here saying our players don't run around enough and don't show enough intensity, but they don't. They disappear. Like the last 20 minutes of the game there, I'm telling you now, a decent United side goes 1-0 down to this Everton team. Giggs, Beckham, Rooney, they'd be running their arse off for the next 15 minutes to get us back in the game. They'd be like, there's no way we should be losing this game. They've scored a deflected goal. We get this game back. What have we seen for 20 minutes? Oh, just the same old shit from the same old shit players. Their attitude stinks. And it's only if you're a United fan who knows what United used to be like that you see, and I don't care whether it's Sancho or Bruno or players I like or players I don't think are good enough. As a general team, their reaction to that whole game, but certainly going 1-0 down, there's no intensity, there's no effort, there's no running. Oh, I'm a left winger and I'm not getting the ball. I'm just going to jog. Fucking run and get the ball back, you twat. Doesn't matter if you're on the left wing. We're losing a game of football and you're wearing a United shirt. Show some bloody pride in your own performance, even if you can't be asked to do it for a United fan base. These players are an absolute joke. No desire to go out and show for themselves, says Adam. Exactly. No passion, says Jay Martin. And a hospital pass is a pass that struggles to make the teammate, causing them... Let's have a look at this. Does Maguire turn his back? Can't see. I think he's just trying not to give a handball. Thanks, Brody. No respect for the fans, says Jay Martin. Congratulations on 1.3 million. Shame about the game, says Jack Newton. LM says take Matic off the pitch ASAP. I don't know what game you're watching, mate. I don't know what you're watching there. And this just shows that talent is nothing without hard work. Absolutely appalling from United, says Jack Price. F1 is at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And Fred's already off, Lucan. I'm convinced this is a Darren Fletcher experiment. No way Ranić has any input on this team at all, says Michael Nelson. Well, apparently Darren Fletcher is the mid man, isn't he? They have no passion. There is no fight, says Millat. Apparently Darren Fletcher is the man that liaisons with the players and the manager. I mean, what that's all about, I just don't know. Why you need a liaison is just beyond me. But yeah, as I said, it stands like a sore thumb to me that the cold, harsh fact is that these players, they're just not running for the shirt. They're not running for the fans. I don't care about your ability. I don't think you're living up to your ability, but you're certainly not living up to the absolute demands of being a Manchester United player. And as I said, I grew up on Keane, Scholes, Beckham, Giggs, Rooney, even Cantona. Just when you haven't got the ball, get it back. Nobody can be arsed. They don't win the ball and they walk. I feel like I'm putting in more of an effort by getting up at 4 a.m., says Adam. Well, you are. That's the whole hard thing. Useless, not even the word to describe these players anymore, says Jess. They're ridiculously bad. I mean, look, I hope we can come back into the game. I hope they can surprise us. But the odds of that happening, I don't know. Right, I just quick need a toilet break. Jordy's just going to have a quick chat with you and I'll be back in about a minute. You there, mate?
Just about. Depressed as always. All good. So, let's have a look at some of your super chats then. Fahad says, I've never hated a side as much as this one. Arrogant, spoiled, self-centered prats. They lack ability and desire. Some of them didn't even break a sweat. I think many United fans will be feeling that way right now, but hopefully we can turn it around in the second half. Lee says, I really hope we don't end up in the Europa Conference. Here's the weird thing about the Europa Conference. I believe if Crystal Palace were to win the FA Cup, and it's not likely, then 7th place is not Conference League. However, I think it's if one of the top 6 or something win the FA Cup, then it becomes 7th. So right now, yes, United are sat in the Conference League spaces, and I don't think if Leicester win it, that affects the places either. I think England get an 8th place, and because Liverpool have already won the Carabao Cup, again, Europa League, they've already got that and they've already qualified for the Champions League. Therefore, 5th and 6th is Europa. So, yes, at the moment, we are staring down the barrel of Conference League. Scott says, what's the spin going to be this afternoon, Mark? Probably Ten Hag on Monday morning. Imagine we lose this game. You would imagine the spin will all be about managerial acquisition at that point. Ali says, bottom line is that we have a squad and backups at almost every starting position. Those are brutal facts. These players have been gassed up by fans, media, and the former manager need massive rebuild. We've been rebuilding ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, 9 years now. Over £1.2 billion spent on this squad. Some of these players have been through 3 managers. Mourinho, Van Gaal, obviously Ollie. It's you've got to wonder at some point, at what point is it the players? Is a new manager going to make that much difference? Because they're not doing it for Ranić either. So Ten Hag has got his work cut out when he comes in, certainly. Max says, hi Mark, it's getting more and more difficult to support Manchester United. It's testing my patience and honestly, I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think any of us see the light at the end of the tunnel right now, but we just need to hang in there. Scott says, Mark, I have to be honest, I'm at the point I don't even care. I've never been so disconnected from these players. It's horrible. You've got to wonder whether the players even care. They're being paid millions and millions a season. And at the moment, Manchester United, we've been this way for the whole season. To be honest with you, have any of us actually seen a bounce so far? I would argue not. Gaming Bear says, I am the chair, confirmed. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not spinning at the moment. Rashford's playing well. He's not been terrible. I just think at the moment, the whole squad is just lacking anything. And it's really hard to put the, quite a lot of people saying rubbish. Yeah. So obviously Goldbridge is back in the hot seat.
Joy, deep joy. We're having a party. It's great, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it's like this season is turning into that turd that you can't flush. You've all been there. We've all had them at some point in our life. You flush it, you think it's gone. It's not. How do I get rid of it? I don't know. But yeah, it's. I think just thinking about it there, I think it sums up our season. To be honest with you, I think on another day we might be winning 1-0. Maybe Rashford doesn't close his eyes and directs it. But you get. I don't think there's a United fan that feels like we've been hard done by, because you get what you get what you get after this many games. Remember, Surfshark are sponsoring the show. You can scan the QR code by holding up your camera to the phone. They are giving you 3 months free and 83% off. This is a virtual private network. Protects your data, protects your location, so you can watch your online streaming services in different areas. If you're in the UK, you can watch the American one, etc. Do give it a try. You get 3 months free with the code United Stand, and you can scan your QR code there. So take something positive from today's match by trying out Surfshark, which is fantastic. Links in the description, or you can scan your QR code. Thank you very much to Surfshark. Hi, Mark. When I was young, I was diagnosed with a disease called United. It impacts on my mood, says Akir. Well, it's as I said when the goal went, isn't it? It's like food poisoning on a Friday night. It's Man United ruin your weekend. And look, I hope we can get back into it. But Everton, for them, this is just desperation, isn't it? If they can get the win. We should play the under-23, says Darren. I mean, I always think that's a very reactionary, jokey thing to say, but could it be any worse? They'd run around and try, and ultimately, second half's just kicked off. It's a really sad state of affairs when you're saying try and leadership. I mean, the captain doesn't even believe in himself, so how can he make a team believe in him? These players just don't care. Every time we watch them at the moment, they may as well just walk around like this to the camera, because that's what they're doing to the badge and the fans. They're just not doing the basic things of running around. Most of these players wouldn't get in a Sunday League team, says Colin. You can't deny the fact that Ronaldo came out, our standards and mentality has dropped. Oh, come on, Rash. I mean, look, I know we've got 36,000 people watching, and you probably think you can just dictate what you want, but come on. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick a couple of weeks ago against Spurs and won us a game we would never have won. Ronaldo must be regretting he's not playing with Kevin De Bruyne, says Gerchen, and players are not playing for the badge mark, letting the fans down. Major clear out from the top to bottom, says James Linham. Well, they've got 45 minutes to show they care, really. Not enough quality possession to state the obvious, says DVN. Well, let's see what we can do in the second half. Bruno, terrible first touch. Might end up getting a corner. Yeah. Rashford is below par. Let's not go crazy over his basic shot and basic header in the opening minutes, says Jazz. Well, yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, he's on the edge of the box. He has a shot. I'd expect him to do that. A cross comes in and he gets his head on it. I'd expect him to do that. Has his overall play been good? I don't think he's the worst player on the pitch. I think he's amongst a steady crew of underperformers. But here's a corner for Manchester United. I mean, Telles needs to beat the first man here. I don't like what we're doing on this corner as well. Have you noticed how we're all just standing on Pickford? I don't get what that is. I like it when we put a cross in and we attack the header. We're all just stood around Pickford trying to get a little lucky deflection. So that's 3 times I've seen this corner now where we're just trying to whip it onto Pickford and hope somebody gets a little bit of a head on it. Run, Wild Fred, running into the Grand National. More like pass, Wild Fred, says Jay Greenwood. Sean Dyche is going mad.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Goldbridge, it's you again, isn't it? You and your crap United side gifting this Everton team a win. They're rubbish. You're sending me down. I can't believe it.
There's literally not a single player who will leave this side, and I regret or say they will tear it up elsewhere. Not one, says Kay. Man United are playing like a team without understanding, says Ellis. Well, I just tweeted it on @MarkGoldbridge. I mean, look, all right. I wouldn't include David De Gea in this. I think he's been comfortably our player of the year. I wouldn't necessarily include Ronaldo in it. I think he's in a graveyard shift again today. And we've been talking about this graveyard shift for a very long time. And he has scored some big goals for us. I mean, not every United player falls into this category, but as a collective, because we are a team, as a collective, they ain't playing for the shirt. And if you're not playing for the shirt, you're not playing for the fans. And if you're not playing for the fans, you're a disgrace. And that's it. As a collective, you're a team. I'm watching this thing on. That's a bad foul on Matic there. What's this referee on? I'm watching this thing on Disney Channel at the moment about Tom Brady. It's a 10 episode season. I'm only on episode 3. And it's, what's the name? Is it Bielchek or something like that? He's the coach of of the Patriots in the early noughties. Title pretenders, says Milo. So he's the coach of the Patriots in the early noughties when Tom Brady's just starting out. And he basically gets rid of one of their best defense players just before the first game of the season. And this player, nice ball to Rashford. I think it's Bruno. Anyway, they play Buffalo Bills the first game of the season and they lose. And this player that they've got rid of, he's all up himself. But then they go on and win loads and loads of games. And he's getting pouters. Even his own players are like, why have you got rid of this player? And he does the interview and he's like, because I'm about the team and what's best for the team. If there's imbalance, it's not good for the team. And United have got to do that. We've got to be a team. We can't just say, De Gea's had a good season, Ronaldo's a good player. The team's shit. We can't be about individuals. The team is dragged down by its weakest link. And we've got so many weak players dragging this team down. Got to get a team. Got to get a team that plays for each other. Got to get a team that plays for the shirt. And they just don't do that. I mean, we started off this half a little bit better. Second half, the FC might arrive. It was a good ball by Bruno. I don't think Rashford could get hold of it. Pogba's just been booked. Give Lingard a chance this game. We need Delo to play with Sancho. Wan-Bissaka needs to be converted to a centre-back. Oh, my God. That's from Smurfy. I think we're playing walk ball, says Thomas. That is a yellow card for Pogba, to be fair. Why didn't Aaron Wan-Bissaka cross it first time? Maybe he actually can't cross his legs. He wouldn't start for Crystal Palace right now, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. Crystal Palace did very well out of that deal, didn't they? So did Leicester. A lot of people going in on Rashford. I didn't actually see whether he should have controlled it or not. It looked like a good ball from Bruno. I mean, look, people criticise Bruno. I like Bruno. He's one of my favourite players. I think he goes for the Hollywood pass too much. But the thing about the Hollywood pass is he will get it every now and again. Mark, love the Patriots. Belichick talk. Let's go, Pat, says Sean Miller. Every team know they have a chance against United, says Megan Smith. Well, one of the things I'm not a massive basketball fan. I'm not a massive NFL fan. But when you watch these documentaries about, like, Last Dance or that one about Tom Brady, sport, competitive sport, winning mentality, team ethics, they're all the same. All right, basketball's not football and American football's not football, but winning mentalities and team ethics and good coaching and good mentalities, it's all the same. Corner to Everton, headed away by Maguire, strong header, good header. Just time ticks away though, doesn't it? Time ticks away. I still don't feel the intensity is there. What have we got on the bench? Nothing in the midfield, really. Lingard and Mata, Alanga and Mabry, Richarlison, well in by Maguire. I just can't believe that we are 1-0 down to a team that's got Iwobi and Delph in its midfield. Don't know how he was at Dortmund, but Sancho's passing has been off from the day he joined the club. It's always too slow or misdirected, says Jazz. I mean, to be honest with you, Sancho just doesn't suit Manchester United's system. Time is about 10 seconds off. 52, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Oh, header over the bar from Everton there. But yeah, no, I think Sancho is a player that doesn't suit our system. Again, Ollie spent 2 years wanting him and then didn't really know how to use him. Sancho's a player that works in a certain system, and United don't play that system. To get the best out, like the way United play is the way Bruno plays. Get the ball, get rid of it quick. Rashford, get the ball, get a shot off, or get rid of it quick. Sancho would work in a City system. He wants 60% possession and most of it in the final third. We don't play a measured build-up. Don't know how he was. Yeah, I've done that from that. Pogba stopped two-footing players challenge impossible, says JN. Bit scared of how we're going to do if Matic leaves or runs out of energy, says Antonio. Well, he will run out of energy, Matic, because the intensity is going to go up now. He's not going to get a breather. We're losing 1-0, so we've got to go up. Pogba's going to get sent off here. He's just pushed somebody over. I don't know whether he's doing it on purpose. Hi, Mark. The way I would describe United last season is a team that can lose to anyone but beat anyone. This season, we can just lose to anyone, says Akil. Wan-Bissaka needs to call Dyche and beg for a job, says Matt Carroll.
I don't want him. I don't want Wan-Bissaka.
There he is. Oh, I thought he was going to shut us all up there. I like Wan-Bissaka. I just think he was never a £50 million player. And I think United embarrassing. I mean, a lot of these scouts are still at the club as well. But Man United, they're masters of their own downfall with their communication sometimes, because they made a big deal that they scouted about 500 right backs over 18 months and then went for Wan-Bissaka. And they were proud of that when they did it. But it actually exposes how crap the club has been run over the last 9 years, that they allowed that to be put out publicly, that they scouted loads and loads of right backs before spending £50 million on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It defies belief, really. In my opinion, doesn't matter who the manager is, the group of players are shambolic, need to sell Rashford, as Marcus Wynn. I mean, yeah, as I say, I mean, that was put out there as common knowledge. Yeah, we scouted loads of right backs, and here's a goal. Oh, good block by Lindelof. He should have scored. Not Lindelof. Cross came in, and I thought he was just going to pass it in the net. And I don't think he hit it well, but Lindelof got his body in the way. Could have been 2-0. 2-0, it's over. But yeah, you scout hundreds of right backs, and then you spend £50 million on Wan-Bissaka, and he's just never a £50 million player. I mean, Richarlison, I'd snap him in half for that. I would snap him in half for that. Richarlison's just got the ball and played head tennis 5 times. Oh my God, the yellow card. I'd have said to the ref on the way to the tackle, get your yellow out. Why? You'll see. Boom. Fucking no way. No, we're losing 1-0 and Richarlison's got the ball doing head tennis. That just tells you the problem with this team. You snap him in half. He's taking the piss. I cannot believe we have got players in a United shirt who are letting somebody do head tennis. My God, what's happened to this club? Bloody, can you imagine what Roy Keane or Steve Bruce or Cantona or Rooney would do to that? They'd run from the other side of the pitch to do it. You shameful shower of shit. I can't believe the attitude of these players. They just don't get it. They don't get it at all. Oh, it's so embarrassing because the fan base get it. We're not represented by these players at all. They are overpaid, overinflated ego, embarrassments. Rashford gives the ball away. I tell you what, I'm sure many people are smiling as I say this. It was like the invention of coloured boots. If you turned up in Adidas Predators when I used to play football, you get stamped on. Like if you wear coloured boots when I used to play, you get stamped on. Everyone does it now. But I tell you what, if the ball came up and they started doing keep-ups, you may as well sub yourself. Try and do that on Sunday morning football. Oh my God, you get your legs broke. You just don't do it. That is taking the piss. When somebody starts doing little tricks like that, it's taking the piss. And yet you can do it against United. 58 exactly. 58 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Get up at 7 a.m. for this, back to bed, says Sean. Yeah, well, at least you get me losing my shit as well. You get that entertainment. But I'm disgusted by that. No. They just don't care. They just do not care. And that's the horrible thing. Mark, there's a very good book which Tuchel loves called The Captain Class. It goes through all the great sporting teams in history and notes how they all had fantastic captains. You might like it, says Ismadel. We need to get rid of our scouts. Like, seriously, our signings have been abysmal. Everton clear the ball. That was from I Am Me. Well, look, yeah, as I was saying, we scouted however many right backs and then spent 50 million on Wan-Bissaka. I mean, however many centre backs we scouted and we spent 80 million pounds on Maguire. I mean, look, I'm sure we've got some women watching this show. Maybe the men can't relate to this, but if you want an analogy, it's like it's prom night and you go around all these shops and you look on all these websites to buy yourself a really nice dress for prom. And then you go, no, I won't bother. Actually, I'm just going to go in my knickers. Like, it's just, but but that's what we do. Oh, we've scouted loads and loads of players and then we've spent it on this. It's just embarrassing. I don't think our scouts are allowed to leave the country as well. Everybody we ever scout, always the short list, it's always Premier League players. Where there's just no, I mean, to be fair, going to prom night in your knickers might be a successful night, depending on what you're looking for. But I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how the club's run, and it's biting us on the arse. It really is. Goldbridge, if we are degenerating on the pitch, we should have a resurgence off it, and you should learn. You should. The satisfied customer. I don't know what you're on about there, mate. Matic is actually your best player, says Frank. I think Matic has been man of the match, yeah. And sub off Bruno for Mata. Clearly run being made by Pogba and Bruno shuffles to Tellez. Drop levels, says Adam. I think Bruno's been crap again. Bruno's been crap. Rashford's been crap. Sancho's been crap. Ronaldo may as well be on holiday. He's had nothing. He's in the graveyard shift. Here's Ronaldo. Skips past Allen. Loses the ball. Mata again, no youth. I just can't anymore. So Stuart Walker. I think the best we're going to get out of this is a draw. I mean, we can score 2 goals quickly. There is half an hour to go, but that's a good cross by Tellez. Come on, bit of intensity. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We will have player ratings coming up for you in about 10 minutes. You can start voting. I dread that in the match reaction, but there you go. United have made me fall out of love with Premier League football, says Dan Statley. Wrexham players give more in the National League. Oh, don't talk to me about Wrexham. Wrexham give it all because they've got a Hollywood owner and they're basically the Man City of the National League. I'm not having that. You're doing well, Dan. Then you mentioned bloody Wrexham. They're just the Man City of National League. They are. Money bags. Man United giving me post-traumatic syndrome, as this reminds me of Arsenal through the post-Wenger stage for 4 seasons, says Robinson Crusoe. Can't really challenge head tennis. Rooney would do something, but as you said, my dad was his mate and always knew he was a madman, says JN. Alanga and Mata are coming on. At this rate, we have a higher chance of the players shooting, lighting out their ass than getting top 4, says Jack. And this team is paying the price of getting in players with bad character and poor skills, says Brian. 100%. 100%. And it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to take off, because if he's bringing on Mata and Alanga, it's definitely going to be Rashford and maybe Bruno. Matic off. Bloody hell. Matic off. Because he can't play more than an hour. It's so predictable, isn't it? It's so predictable. Rashford comes off after another disappointing display, and Matic has to come off after an hour. If there was a United man of the match, I would give it Matic, but he can't play more than an hour. As I just tweeted there, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spending all his money on sensational shirt sellers and not getting a CDM has cost us every week of the Premier League since August. And Bruno's a very lucky lad to never get bloody subbed as well. The only player who played well subbed off, Matic, is Argent. I think Matic came off because he can't play more than an hour. I don't think he was... I'd be stunned if he was subbed for tactical reasons or performance reasons. He can't play more than an hour. I've been saying this for ages. Even when we've only got 1 game a week, he can't play more than an hour. David says he woke up at 6 a.m. for this. Pogba. It's time to admit that sacking Ollie was the wrong decision. Mark, you're the second person to say this today. I don't know whether you've had a coma or something like that, or you suffer from like forgetfulness. But what are you talking about? How can the words sacking Ollie was a mistake enter your head if you've got a brain? You do know he got sacked for losing 4-1 or 4-2 to Watford, 5-0 to Liverpool, 4 to Leicester. He was an embarrassment, mate. I know we're bad today, but we're not getting smashed. We're losing because of a deflected goal and the fact that the players can't be arsed. And these players don't want to play for this manager, but we're still not getting smashed. Ollie's football was an embarrassment. We were hemorrhaging goals. Like, I don't get this whole we would have been better off with Ollie. The Wikipedia search proves it. It was shit. Honestly, we are where we are because of Solskjaer not buying a holding midfielder, because he was too excited about Ronnie and Sancho and bloody Varane. He neglected his midfield. Honestly, we should be winning this match, because for a club of our size, even with not competing with the top dogs, I don't know how we're losing, Stephen. Everton are shit. Was Ricky right about Bruno then, says Harris? And what's the point of playing Mata ahead of Hannibal Mabry? Might as well give kids a chance. They can't be worse, says Joseph. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. I don't understand why we've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench. This makes me feel sleepy, the way we play, says Wolf. And get rid of them all. If Ten Hag is watching, he's probably rethinking things, says Oz. Hope Ten Hag can sort Bruno's positional sense out, because he can't keep playing, says Tam. Mate, if this was the season, if this was the start of the season, Bruno's on the bench for Donny, 100%. You know it's true. Whatever you think about Donny van der Beek, he's going to get dropped for Bruno Fernandes if he keeps playing like this. I mean, we've just given the guy a new contract. He's played 2 shite games. Like, that's the truth. And I like Bruno. Should have never replaced Ollie, says Lewis. Yeah, we've got trolls in the chat now, but whatever. Hi, Mark. The only positivity I have from United today is hearing about all of Ten Hag's demands, because he knows he's got to clear out this lot, says Vikrant. "20 minutes to go. And we're such a dreadful footballing side as well, aren't we? Like, I can't remember the last time. Maybe Villa away in January, where I went, oh, that's good football. Maguire, what are you doing? It was nearly 2-0 then, because Maguire's a twat. Fucking hell. What is Maguire doing there? Trying to pass out from the back. Gives it to Everton, who nearly end up with a tap-in. They're playing better than us at the moment. Oh, my God. De Gea. Good. Quick off his line. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Captain Chaos. He's not, but the thing is, it's not just Maguire. Bruno, Rashford again. I don't think either of the fullbacks have been anything other than mediocre. Corner, come on. Right, don't put this corner in on Pickford. Put it, get Maguire and everyone holding hands on the penalty spot. Don't whip it into Rashford. That's it. Maguire, get back on the edge of the box. Attack it. Don't just stand there waiting for it. That's better. This is the sort of corner we need. Attack the bloody ball. Don't just stand there. That's it. Oh, what's this short shit? What the fucking hell is that? Don't do short corners, you knobheads. Trust United to give a team a lifeline. It's a shambles, says Kurt. Sean Dyche is fuming with us. These players know damn well a new manager. Here we go. Oh. Over the bar. These players know damn well a new manager is watching, and they still can't be arsed. Disgusting, says Graham Barber. They're bringing on the B-Tech Ronaldinho now, and he's going to score on the counter, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. Problem is, there are 6 or 7 players in that squad at the end of their contract or want away. They've down tools, says Chris Slater. Mark, why the hell is Maguire still being picked? Bay wasn't allowed to leave. He's got to be better, or Jones even, says Nick Etz. Not even on the bench, Eric Bay, today. To be honest, I don't want to say this. I think Everton will score. I think Everton will put this to bed. I just think the way the game is going, We've been 1-0 down since the 22nd minute against a shite side. It's a joke. If you think Ten Hag is going to fix Man United, you're wrong. Losing to Everton is absolutely pathetic, says Hi. And Bruno is not captain material. He's always the first to drop his head and start moaning, says Brian. Rice says, can you run a poll? Was sacking Ollie a mistake? Just to see what the chat thinks. No. No. I draw the line at that. I'm all for democracy, but also I know there's a lot of people watching who aren't United fans, and I'm not entertaining something that's just a big load of reactionary bollocks that is factually incorrect. Like, he got sacked because he was getting stuffed more than a Christmas turkey, and he parked the bus and played shit football. And also, can I just say as well, even if you don't want to remember the fact that Liverpool annihilated us at Old Trafford, Watford annihilated us, Leicester annihilated us, even if you don't want to think about all those facts, look at their starting lineup. £50 million for Wan-Bissaka, who paid that? £80 million for Harry Maguire, who paid that? Who ignored the midfield? Who bought Jadon Sancho and then didn't have a fucking clue how to use him? Look, most of the problems that we have with these players were bought by Solskjaer. So let's not pretend he was some sort of genius. We're paying for the 3 years of his incompetence anyway. Didn't develop any players, allowed them to develop into arrogant, egotistical prats focused on social media. Nearly all our problems are from the last 3 years. Sean Dyche is fuming.
I fucking knew it. I knew it. We beat this crap at Turf Moor. We put some effort in. Tarkowski and Weghorst. And rubbish United turn up to Goodison Park and give 3 points out like it's Christmas. They're an absolute joke. Absolute disgrace. I'm absolutely fuming. I've got to go and get my lads up now. Rubbish. We've got Norwich tomorrow in a massive game. And Bruno and co are handing out 3 points like it's bloody blockbusters.
Nine years of incompetence, says Ricky D. I'm at the point that these players are villains. Part of me wants them to be humiliated, says Laug. Not a single one of them deserve to wear the shirt. De Gea is the only one who plays for the badge, says Lewis. Problem is there are 6-7 players in that squad. Yeah, Chris Slater, we've done that one. I don't understand why we're playing like 10 strangers. There's been no cohesion all season, says Reza. We should have sold Lingard and Henderson last summer and bought a CDM. We should have done. That's a good point from Imo. I'm not fuming, Mark, says Sean Dyche. 15 minutes to go. I am doing Spurs versus Villa watch-along on That's Football later. Player ratings is ready for Everton. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. I don't know how that's going to go because we've been utter shite. I suppose Matic would probably be my man of the match. Links in the video description for that, by the way. Every player out of 10. Or you just go to unitedstand.com. Alanga wins a corner. You know, the thing is, though, what's the point? That's a penalty by Telles, you know. That could have easily been a penalty. He's nowhere near the ball. Could that not... Am I missing something here? Could that not have been a penalty by Alex Telles? I don't know. I've only seen the replay there. In real time, it looked very innocuous, but he's nowhere near the ball and he catches his legs. Is that... I suppose it's not a clear and obvious error, is it? Well, it's not going to be a penalty anyway, so... Never a pen. I'll go with the chat. Is your Red Dead play along on YouTube, pal? No, Mark. No, it's not. Guarantee Sky will home in on Ranić subbing off Rashford and nothing else, says Sean Miller. Can we please talk about how useless these players have been all season? Don't know how he was at Dortmund, but Sancho's passing has been off from the day he joined. I've done that one from Jazz. We need to be out of Europe completely next season, like Arsenal, where a major reset is required. I disagree, David. I think we need Europe because I think the Europa League is another chance of getting in the Champions League. I don't think we'll get it through top four. Individualism is clear here, says John. Ralph can only do so much. $12 minutes to go. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I don't know what this means for the league. Let me have a look. We retain 7th place because we've lost. And we'll be on the same amount of games as West Ham. And we're only 2 points ahead of Wolves. Dear me. Dear me. It wasn't a pen because it wasn't given as a penalty. So I don't know why people are moaning. 10 minutes to go. United have been nowhere near equalising. So I think at half-time we predicted this game was probably over because United have absolutely... Jelly Baby FC, basically. They've got no spine. Sponsored by Pampers. Bunch of babies. Well, Decore's coming on for Everton here. Pogba, good shot. Pickford holds on to it. Mata was there for the tap-in if he didn't. I mean, I tell you, Joy was just saying there, I'm sure Lampard's given Ranić a picnic hamper as a reward. Probably nothing in the hamper, but it's we. If I was on a serious note, if I was Sean Dyche or Leeds or Norwich or Watford or anyone in a relegation battle, I'd be fuming with Man United because we've basically gifted Everton 3 points. They're crap. They're absolutely crap, Everton, and we've given them 3 points. Like, anybody would have won against us today. They've caught us at exactly the right time. Embarrassing. How many times have we said this about the white flag? United walking into a game with a white flag. And look, I don't think Harry Maguire's had a bad game, but he's the captain of the club. What is he doing? Where is what does he think being a United captain is all about? Generally, what does he think his job is as a United captain? Just to stand there with an armband on? Like, where's the leadership? Where's the demands? Where's the vocality? Just fucking awful. It's an embarrassment. Go on, Sancho. Here we go. Oh, edge of the box. Oh, fuck off. This is pathetic, Mark, says Nickette. I can't believe we have to watch Everton celebrate in 10 minutes from now, says David. We are watching the Harlem Globetrotters of English football, Mark, says Max Thorpe. Even Maguire's shooting from the edge of the box now. That's how desperate we are. 82 minutes. You just don't get it, do you? You just don't get it. It is. Even if we get an equaliser, Wan-Bissaka blocked. Even if we get an equaliser, we should be winning. We should be bloody winning. We'll be regarded like those early 19th century FA Cup winners, Royal Engineers, Wanderers. We're an anachronism. It's all over. Unable to move with the times. A footnote in history. Finished, says the satisfied customer. Mark, you get the feeling the manager will be announced soon because of the possible loss today? No, we can't. Jacob, we can't announce the manager just because we're losing games of football. He's Ajax manager. They've got big games. The thing is, though, this is 100% on the players. 100% on the players. I'm so glad it's not on Sky today because you get certain ex-players going, oh, it's about the coaching. It's about the coaching. It's about the players. I can't believe I've listened to ex-players of Man United who've ran around and worked hard and played in good United sides who protect some of these players because they've got them on WhatsApp. When the reality is that I've seen United. I've seen with my own eyes Ryan Giggs, Wayne Rooney, David Beckham, Paul Scholes. I've seen what they do without the ball when you're losing a game like this. I'm not bothered about what they can do with the ball. It's when the going gets tough, they run their fucking arse off. They don't care. They will do it. They will run. They will graft. They will get that ball. These players, I just don't see it. It angers me to the core. I just don't see the effort. They do not care. They don't run around. They're not bothered. There's no intensity. There's no aggression. There's no effort. They're just going through the motions thinking about their bank account. Like, they just don't care. It's lethargic. I can't stand them. They're an embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. This is the worst United team I've seen in 30 years, says Xander. Oh, easy. And I've seen some shit United players. I've seen some shit United teams, but never. We might have had 2 or 3 players playing that were crap. We might have been nowhere near winning a title, but I've never seen such a lack of effort. 2 weeks in a row as well. They've checked out. They're a fucking disgrace. I would consider playing the under-23s. I really would, because we're losing anyway. The old United knew every small team used to be up their game against us and we were ready for it. These players always seem shocked, says IQ. We'll only come right when Sir Alex Ferguson's days are forgotten, says Ricky D. And this is what happens when you create $1 million social media FC, says Drub. I mean, what are they going to say at full time on social media? Like, what did they say after Leicester? We knew that Leicester performance was crap. And they were like, wasn't the result we wanted, but we know we can do better. Yeah, we can lose to Everton. Fair play to Everton. They've took advantage of an absolutely shit United side. I just don't get this. I really don't get this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Everybody must be looking at their fixture list thinking, have we got United? Because that's 3 points. What's going to happen at Anfield in a couple of weeks? What's going to happen at the Emirates? We've got to go to Palace. We've got to go to Sellers Park. We've got to go to the Emirates. We've got to go to Anfield. We've got Chelsea at home. I mean, we might not get double points left. We might not get 10 points. We might not get to 60 points. I don't think we will at the moment. These lot were given a holiday in the breaks as 58 go. The board need to call Ten Hag and say you've just got full control, top of the league budget, says Matthew. Do you think Arsenal or Spurs will get fourth? I'm happy you lot have decided to drop from the race. I don't know, Alexander, but it's a massive boost for Spurs and Arsenal. Arsenal playing Brighton at 3 o'clock. Spurs playing... Oh, I'm going to do a watch-along for that on That's Football when I've calmed down. At least these prats are consistently ruin our weekends, says Anurug. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Let me just repeat. Everton scored in the 25th minute. They've not broken sweat. I fucking hate these players. I really do. I don't hate anything, but in a footballing sense, I just hate the lack of effort. I hate the lack of pride. That shirt, I don't really care about any individual player. If they do well, they'll get praised. If they play crap, they'll get criticised. But I do care about this club. I do care about this badge. And I do care when I don't see effort in it. It's such a privileged position to wear that shirt. And they are basically abusing it with their own selfish lack of effort. It won't happen, but I would love to see Ranić giving the under-23s a run out, says Sean Miller. Nemanja Matic for Juan Mata sub really triggers me, says Francis. But I think that must be because of tiredness, because Matic is my man of the match and he came up after an hour. Bin says, will we see Ronaldo in the Conference League? I don't know. I'm sure Ronaldo will be looking to get a move. I'm sure he will. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We've got the match reaction coming up straight after this. You can do your player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'm just showing a picture of Harry Maguire. I'm really trying not to pin it on him because it's not just him. But he should not be the captain of this team. Where is the leadership? He can't even play for himself, let alone captain the team. Furious. The only statement I want to see is that United have released all of the Deadwood players from the squad tonight. The board have gone, club being sold, says Colin O'Connor. Well, we're into stoppage time here. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens here at the end, because I don't know how long the referee's had in on here. Oh, Seamus Coleman has just skipped past Tellez and Bruno. Thankfully, we've won it back, but I tell you what, they're lucky this is at Goodison Park, because Goodison Park's going to be roaring. If this was at Old Trafford, they'd be booed. They'd be booed for this, 100%. But you can't boo your players. You can't boo your players. I don't agree with booing players, by the way. But I tell you what, I've never felt like this about a bunch of players before. Oh, Ronaldo had a chance. Keeper saved it. It wouldn't. To be honest, I don't think we deserved it. I don't think we deserved it. Ronaldo's trying to get a handball. I don't know what he's going to get a handball for here. How can we trust these players next season? I think his hand's too close to his body there. I don't think you're going to get that. Well, I don't know how many minutes they're adding on, because they've not said it on BT. Are they against telling us that? But we're into the 93rd minute now. Richarlison doing kick-ups again. Keane, Vidic, Neville would have put him in the stands, says Luke Harris. Can't believe I keep waking up at 5 a.m. here. Five minutes of added time, so we've still got a minute and a half. Please don't forget to do your player ratings. Links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10. We'll go through that on the match reaction. I've got so many notes, really, to talk about. And this is the most shameless performance I've ever seen. I hope the board is looking at it. Keep the noses out of manager's job, says Thrub. And I would make the players play shirtless until they've earned the right to put it back on. It's a great point, RPG. Great point. They shouldn't be allowed to wear the shirt. Mark, do you feel like Arsenal fans did years ago, says Jasper? Well, no, because I don't compare myself to that. I don't, you know, if Arsenal fans felt like that, Arsenal fans felt like that. I've got no interest in what rival fans have got to say to us. We're open to being bantered. I get that. But what I have got a problem with is it's just the complete utter lack of effort. It's disgusting. And that's my issue. Aimless long balls to nobody. You got to whip this cross in, Tellers. You've got so much time. Go on then. Oh, Pickford's there. $30 seconds to go. Long arrowed ball in. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. He's going to blow his whistle, surely. Then, he blows the whistle. Let's have a look at the reaction there. Well, it's happy times for Lampard. I want to see these United players. Do they even give a shit as they walk off the pitch? Let's have a look. I mean, for Everton, that's a massive win. I'm tempted to say they don't deserve it, but obviously they deserve it. But I just look at them. Absolute embarrassment. Scum, absolute scum. I can't think of words to describe that as a performance in a Manchester United shirt. It is scum. It is disgusting. They just don't care. They just don't try. There's no effort. There's no unity. There's no care. And they ultimately are not good enough by a very long way. They're just not good enough. Big changes needed. Big changes needed. People saying welcome to the Europa League. We might not make that. We're talking about welcome to the Europa League. We're not even in the Europa League spot. an absolute embarrassment. They're an absolute embarrassment. And to be honest with you, I would never condone booing, but I mean, you're almost at that point, are you? You're almost at that point of doing the unthinkable, where you want to boo these players because they're a shambles. And I'll explain why. There's a very, very clear reason why. It's obvious they're not playing for the shirt, and we'll talk about that on the match reaction. Anyway, Everton win. I'm really sorry to Burnley fans and Watford fans. I wish we could give you 3 points as well, because we've just fucked up the relegation battle. We've absolutely fucked it up. Lampard's there going absolutely mad. He's the luckiest man in the world. That was not great tactics. You just caught a shit United. So look at him milking it in front of the Goodison crowd. Mate, you won because you played the shittest team in the league and you scored a deflected goal. I mean, I thought Everton were trash. Absolutely trash. And you'll pay the price, Everton, of keeping him in charge. But well done, Everton. You deserve to win. I'm not having a go at Everton at all. I'm just saying I'm apologetic to Burnley and everyone else in a relegation battle, because not only are we messing up our fans, we're messing up everybody else. Anyway, thank you I can't believe we've lost to that prat. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you on the on the reaction shortly after this. Well, actually, literally straight after this. If you give me a minute or so, I will be over there with the player ratings and my thoughts. I'll see you there in a minute.